Black people, it's all about the unity. We are in a state of emergency. Tragedy. Want a song about it? Like to hear it? Here it goes. Free your mind.
To boldly go where no man has gone before.
Thank you for donating to my uncle Taalik. I appreciate it, and I know that my family appreciate it because he's been in our lives for years now. So yeah, and I just want to say thank you because yeah, okay, yeah, we love you guys. Bye. Bye. Peace, Myron, always. Peace, Myron, always. Peace, Myron, always.
He's had a record since he's 14. You can't really track with a record.
Oh, they all have some stories. He's just trying to get laid.
Go ahead. Registered letter Gavin Sanders. What's wrong? Uncle Sam? Dang, just got out.
Every Friday during Women's History Month.
To bring out a perfect harmony, Terry Ellis becomes the first of the Divas to offer the world her singular sound. And she does just that on Friday.
Come on then. We love you. I ordered this book. God is on Trial. I ordered this book from Amazon, and I must say I read it. It's very well written, very thought-provoking. Sisters and brothers like Alberta Parrish, again, God is on Trial. It is a provocative, thought-provoking, very real and honest point of view regarding the gods of major religions or of Abrahamic religions and why those of us who follow these belief systems should be asking the same kind of questions instead of just blindly accepting and following.
That's how money is given away. Actually, it's a tax check. I was thinking about it. So many things. I think that some money that I borrowed. Yeah, like the stereo stuff. That's what I'm saying. The VCR. I'm not taking them.
Hey, my brother, you know I had to call you. Thank you personally again.
Yeah.
I cannot disclose to you how happy I was to meet you in person, Myron. That was
You
just
ready
like
to get started?
amazing.
Anyway, I'm done. So, don't expect me to be on YouTube all the time, and because but none of you are helping me out. I have to go to work every day. I have to go to work, to make money, and none of y'all are dropping me $5 or nothing in my Cash App or nothing. So don't expect me to come on here making videos all the time, because that's not gonna happen. Like I said, it takes a lot of energy to come on here and talk and make videos and put together.
Well, you sure that's necessary?
Why Walgreens? Because our expert pharmacists feel cute and answer your medications. Get their advice on Medicare prescriptions. If you have it's my 9/12, no days off, my rest. It's irrelevant for any time.
Good afternoon. And if you don't know by now, I'm the Mighty One, Angel Number 7. And you've come to the right place. This, of course, is the Reality's Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. Tonight's presentation will be by our soul brother, Taalib. He wants to offer us a perspective, a view of a situation that he's going through, and perhaps many of us have done so also. And I hope that you find it informative and interesting. Before we bring the brother on, he's here on speakerphone. Unfortunately, due to technicalities beyond his control, he's unable to come on here live like the rest of us, but he's here and he wants to bring us a message. Before I bring him, pass the mic to our brother, I want to say and send a shout out to our brother, D. Darrell, who accepted my request that I come on his platform to discuss Operation Exodus, Mississippi. We had a real good time. In fact, the conversation was so good, the brother expects to make a series, not only of Operation Exodus, Mississippi, but I guess he finds me a very interesting character that worthy of a series of speaking with. So I want to send a shout out to that platform, D-Darrell, and the video will post on this channel tomorrow morning at 9:30, and Operation Exodus, Mississippi, it will post 5:30 p.m. in the evening time. Also, for those of you who are interested, I will be making another appearance on his channel schedule, and I put up a promotional video Saturday, March the 13th. I think that's the 13th. March the 13th at 6 o'clock p.m. Central Time. We're going to get together and have another talk, and he's going to bring some other panelists, and hopefully we have another real good time. It's amazing that nobody knew. I know nobody here, because I did not talk about it. Nobody knew that I was going to go on his program. Well, actually, I barely knew. He sent me the link at the last minute. But and I had also tried to contact him a few times, and we never did get together. But it went off this time. So nobody knew, and I did not talk about going on this brother's platform. But yet, towards the end, I don't know how he does it, our friendly neighborhood Alquan showed up. I'm like, how do this man find me? Why is he so obsessed with us? I just don't get it. Toward the end, he did not find us until really towards the end of the presentation, which was about 2 hours. But I just wanted to say, I mean, I've never been around somebody that's obsessed with somebody that don't really like you, but they obsessed with you. I don't know where that come from. I do expect Sister Noble to come here in a little bit, but primarily the one who is leading the charge on this presentation is our soul brother Taalib. So with no further interruptions, I'm going to bring forth and pass the mic to our soul brother Taalib. And if we was in the building, let's give them all a well round of applause. Soul brother Taalib, yay, yay.
Yes. Thank you, brother. Thank you, soul sister Noble.
She's not here yet.
Oh, okay. And thanks to everybody else that may be listening on to this platform, whether you in the comment section or just in the social media land. And I just like to say that right now at this given point in time, the topic that I would like to discuss is why I am leaving Nebraska. Well, I've been here for almost 7 years, and this is a little bit out of my element because I've never been used to living in a predominant white Caucasian state like Nebraska, which only has 1% blacks, typically 1% black Americans anyway, that's living in this state. And the most or the majority of the black Americans living in this state is in Omaha, which is the biggest city of Nebraska. I mean, and also too, once again, I would say that that is the biggest city in Nebraska, Omaha. And for those of you who don't know, our brother, who was passionately known as the Honorable Malcolm X, a.k.a. Hajj Malik El-Shabazz, was originally from Nebraska, from Omaha, as by the way, where he was born at on May 19th, 1925. Of course, he did not spend his whole life here in Nebraska. And one of the reasons he did not spend his whole life here in Nebraska, because his father, who went by the name of Reverend Earl Little Sr., and who was also a local leader of a Garveyite UNIA chapter in Omaha, got ran up out of there along with the rest of the Little family, which included young Malcolm, who would later on become known as Malcolm X. Later on in his life, had to flee for their lives because the Ku Klux Klan had ran them up out of there because of the doctrine or the Garveyite ideology that Earl Little Sr. stood on. And at that time period, there were many members of the Ku Klux Klan, not only in Omaha, but throughout the whole entire state of Nebraska. And at that time, I remember, because of Brotha I was listening to on a compact CD I checked out from a local library here, dealing with the chronicles of Malcolm X's life, you know, and you know, he said that at that particular time, like around in the 1920s when Malcolm was born, the membership of the Ku Klux Klan throughout the whole entire state of Nebraska had grew every week, at the end of every week, into the hundreds. So this was a pro-white racist supremacist state, which also was controlled by the Ku Klux Klan like many of these other states was, especially in this part of the Midwest and further west of here. And there was a lot of lynchings going on at the time here in Nebraska as well, you know, which mainstream American history don't talk about, nor is talked about in mainstream American history textbooks. But black people was getting lynched here in this region called the Great Plains, which include Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, and then on back up toward the Dakotas, you know, and wherever blacks were, including Missouri as well, you know, if they were found vulnerable, the racists at the right given time of opportunity would lynch them. And there was many lynchings, like I say, recorded in this area, toldly and untouldly, you know. And one of the lynchings that was recorded in this area was right in Omaha, Nebraska, back in 1919. It was his brother. He was accused by a Caucasian woman of raping her, which, of course, people came to find out later was not true, as the norm went always when it involved a black man getting lynched, especially, as we know, in the U.S. South. You know what I'm saying? And so, you know, there were lynchings going on here in this part of the country. And because the lynchings that was going on here in this part of the country, you know, this also is one of the reasons why segregation in this state, especially in Omaha, has always been so, you know, pertinent, you know, and it still is prevalently pertinent to this day, you know, that blacks and whites are very segregated in Nebraska, especially in the largest city here, which is Omaha. And even though where I'm at located, which is an hour from Omaha, which is Lincoln, which is the state capital of Nebraska, it's not many blacks here, but it's enough here more so than in far more other places throughout the state of Nebraska. So where you will find most of the blacks at, as far as black Americans, will be here, between here and Omaha. That's where you will find the majority of the blacks at. And, it's matter of fact, in this state, this is the same state where that murder took place last year of a young black man named James Scarlett, who was murdered by a racist here during the George Floyd protests. And it was on nationwide news. So I'm sure some of you who may be listening to this live podcast may have heard about it. And of course, his family still has not gotten justice in the criminal courts, because the murderer, who was eventually charged for his murder, had committed suicide. And matter of fact, he committed suicide in Oregon, where he was found dead, because he did not want to face what was in front of him as far as the consequences of murdering this young soul brother, which was doing, like I say, over the George Floyd protests, because of the murder that happened to George Floyd in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So, like I said before, this situation right now, had intensified even to the point where they weren't only rioting in Omaha, but they were even rioting in here in Lincoln, because a few places around here, near here, even not far from where I live at, was trashed and burnt up, and stuff like that. And even some people ended up going to jail and prison for taking part in the riots here. And also it has been even declared here since the George Floyd protests, that racism is a mental health crisis here in Lincoln, because of the simultaneous, continuous, of the simultaneous discrimination that goes on here in this state. Where blacks are discriminated against in their field of employment, where they constantly got to quit different jobs to change from one job to another because of the discrimination that they get here on jobs here in Lincoln, and other social situations that deal with factors and racism here in this area. And of course, like I said, the whole situation with the racism and the discrimination that permeates throughout this whole state, I got a chance to witness even when I traveled to another city here in Nebraska, which is west of here. A lot of people don't know about, but it's supposed to be the third largest city in Nebraska, behind Lincoln and Omaha, of course, and it's called Grand Island, which sits right in the middle of the state. And I sensed the atmosphere of racism while I was there, because of the obvious hateful looks I got by the local Caucasians in that city. And of course, I have not been back to that city in a while since then, and definitely don't plan on going back to that city at all. nor anywhere, especially west of Lincoln or further west of Grand Island, because that's all that's out there, especially is, Trump supporters and other type of white racists and white supremacists. And and they are in this immediate vicinity too, around here in the state capital of Lincoln, Nebraska, and also, of course, in Omaha as well, which is why Omaha is one of the most segregated cities, not only in Nebraska, but one of the most segregated cities racially in the country, which, of course, Brother Charles M. Boo did not include in his book so far that I've been reading, matter of fact, wait a minute, let me go get that book. The title of that book that he wrote, the brother that, speaks the language sort of like the Mississippi Campaign do, or the brother that just, the book called The Devil You Know, a Black Power Manifesto. He talks about statistics and racism in different cities, especially in the north, here in the Midwest, and on the east and west coast, and evenly compares it to the south, and but he never mentioned Omaha, because Omaha is definitely segregated, like even other nearby cities near here in this regional part of the Midwest, like Kansas City and St. Louis. You know what I'm saying? These are some very heavily racial, segregated areas, and it's very prevalent. And it would kind of make you feel like you're back in the 1950s and 60s era of the U.S. South, and the way that these people are behind in time, because in fact they are back. They're not up with the modern times, as the Nation of Islam say. They're not, at par on the same level with the modern times of the present that we're living in now. They're like still back in the 1950s and 60s here in Nebraska. And through their, racial tendencies and racist attitudes toward darker skinned people here in this state, especially those of us who are descendants of slaves born in America, it's definitely obviously clear to see that. And I say to those of you, because of how this has mentally impacted me psychologically, and how it's also impacted me to the point of my own physical health as well, and how it's impacted me emotionally, is why I'm leaving as soon as that opportunity and time presents itself, and I will be moving out of here, and I will be returning back to be where there are more people that look like me, and where I would not have to feel the full brunt of what racism really is in America. Although we know it's all over America, and it's as the brother said in that book I just named by its title, said that racism is equally distributed throughout America. And yes, I do get that, and I agree with that. But the fact is that if you're in a place like this, and especially if you know what it is to be around a majority of white people, especially in knowing that you're going to be looked upon as an outcast, especially because of the color of your skin, and treated in such manner, and stuff like that, then you should know that you should not make that choice to come here. Like, unfortunately, the way I made that choice to come here. And by me having already been consciously aware of the racial landscape in this country, you know, and the dynamics that goes along with racism throughout this country, which I've been knowing about for years because of my awareness of that. I should have known not to come to a place like Nebraska, but I came almost 7 years ago here because I was not in the right state of mind. I'm going to repeat that again. I was not in my right state of mind. I was in a very low, dark period of my life, and I was just ripping and running rapid wherever I could find a place to go to, which I thought I could actually gather myself together and regroup myself and start working on, you know, changing my life quality for the better, you know, and which I still have been doing since I've been here. Fortunately, I have been working on changing my quality of life here. And one thing is by going back to school, getting an education, even in my early 50s. You know, I'm about to turn 53 in over a couple of months from now, you know, and you know, but I want to leave here with something when I do leave here, okay, so that it can help me carry on to furthering my education and opening other doors, you know, where my life quality will be more better, which is more important to me right now at this time in my life, of course. And although I'm focused on our struggle and our plight and liberation as a people, and want to see a people of 44 plus million of us as Black Americans free from all this racism and discrimination and mass incarceration and stuff, you know, which is why I'm a part of the Operation Exodus Mississippi campaign platform. But however, you know, I can't fully operate the way I want to, even being here, you know, because of what I'm around and because of even the type of opposition I would get here, not only from the racists, but from other Blacks, because of the mentality of the local so-called American Negroes that are living here in the state of Nebraska, especially here in Lincoln, in the Lincoln area, you know, and I have to say that, you know, as on that note, that because of that, you know, I've never seen Negroes anywhere else in the country I've been, even in the South, how we turn against each other, talk against each other, even in front of the racists. But especially with some of us knowing that the racists don't even like us, but we still talk behind each other back, in front of them and to them about each other, while they clock out after they 9 to 5 or whatever they doing, and go home and sit among each other and talk about how much the niggas are talking about each other. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, they all looking at us as the N-word. You know what I'm saying? And in the same light, and don't differentiate us no different from the next one. You see what I'm saying? It may appear like that because they smile in your face, you know, but like Malcolm X said, stab you in the back, you know, of course. And, you know, that's the type of situation here. This is why, even if I see other Blacks constantly migrating to states like this, and especially if they know what it is to be around racists, and they come in here under a more sober or a more less complicated frame of mind. You see what I'm saying? I can't see otherwise. Then why would another black person come to a state like this? You know, because I was asked many times, especially when I first came here, by those who I always communicate with that lives in other states further back east. Why would I even come to a place like this? And some of them had never even heard of Nebraska. Some didn't even know that Nebraska existed on the United States map. You see what I'm saying? That's how you know that when stuff happened here, that even include racism and discrimination, you don't hear about it in the news because they keep it swept under the rug. That's why you don't hear about it like you hear about it in places nearby, like Missouri, like in New Orleans, or somewhere like in Chicago, or somewhere like in Alabama, Mississippi, or Georgia, or Florida, or something like that, or or North or South Carolina. You know what I'm saying? This is why you don't hear about that, or the racism that's happening in California. You don't hear about that here in Nebraska. Or like you may hear about it going on up there in Portland, Oregon, somewhere. You don't hear about it here because they keep it swept under the rug. And plus, by this being a conservative state, which is so-called Republican, and which, of course, like I say, you have a lot of Trump followers here, of course, that are very passionate with the way they believe and the way that they think, as far as, trying to take America back to the way, as they say, it used to be. These the type of people who maintain that mentality that I have to deal with every day when I walk outside my apartment. You know what I'm saying? And you have blacks here that exactly think like them. Or simply because they're trying to be Caucasian or talk or sound like one, So, being black, you're going to regularly see stuff like that here. And like I said, I know it goes on all over the country because I've been to several dozens of states around the country, okay? I've traveled as a young man most of my life, up to now, but I've never seen nothing like this. Not even when I was in Oklahoma, just right down the road from here. Because Oklahoma, like Nebraska, is right smack in the middle of the Great Plains region, Midwest of the United States, and of course, just to know a little history about Nebraska, along with these states that lead all the way from Louisiana up toward the Canadian border, was a part of the Louisiana Purchase. So of course this was once a French colony, too. But and I found that out when I got here, But this place, it's kind of interesting. It's been interesting. It has been an interesting experience. And I mean, I can't even hardly sit down and have, there's very few people here, even whites, who I might can sit down and have a political, social type of conversation with. But it's very few, and I can count them on my 5 finger hands. I mean, that's just the way that is here. It's like you really can't say nothing. Even if you're talking to other black people, don't bring white people up in the conversation, especially if it's talking about race and social other type of issues that's dealing with race, because they'll run back and go tell the racists what you said. This is the type of mentality, once again, amongst the few of our people that are here, that I got to be constantly careful, of. So, that's the type of situation here, and it's real here. It's lot of other states, you know, because they don't enforce the laws too tough on hate crimes here. They might arrest somebody here and there for a hate crime and send them to prison or whatever, but it's not enforced, like I say, like it is in other states, you know. And so that's another reason why I got to leave, you know. Because at first I kind of thought about maybe making this a permanent home, you know, and maybe we can start a family at, but it's been damaged me emotionally so much. And like I said, it affected me mentally and physically, health-wise, where now I see that that's not even a wise idea to try to have a family here. And even if I tried to have a family here, it would be problems because it ain't enough for soul sisters to go around or even other certain type of people to go around. It's most majority is Caucasians, you know. And you know, that's you know, because I'm not a Muslim or whatever. So, you know, I'm not too much caught up into who someone should marry or who someone shouldn't marry or who someone should amalgamate with or who they shouldn't amalgamate with. But at the same time, I say that everybody with who they want to be with, but like I always say, and like I speak from this platform, as well as others speak from this platform, I'd rather still put my people first, you know, in terms of standing with my people, no matter if I am married or dating a Caucasian. But however, I choose not to marry or date a Caucasian woman, especially under these type of circumstances, because I would get a lot of, you know, negative opposition, especially from that side of the family, and I don't want to have to even experience nothing like that, because I see it happening a lot when, you know, these brothers who do come here and that end up, you know, getting in bed with these Caucasian women and having big mulatto babies with them and stuff, and then they leave them and move on and go to other cities and pump babies and another woman or something, you know. And then you got a bunch of mulatto kids walking around here looking at people like me. That's a reflection of their fathers with an attitude look on their face. So, you know, that's what I also got to deal with here. And that's just the reality of it. And I will continually talk about this while we're on this live podcast, but I don't want to get long-winded. So, you know, I would like our brother Taalik, you know, to add in his few words on this, and then you can return the mic back to me, brother. But I would like you to give your perspective and commentary on this situation as well. But I will like to continue on speaking on this throughout the podcast until we close out, because I do have more to say concerning this situation. And as, of course, as a way to advise other Black people that if you ever do choose to relocate to another state, Nebraska definitely wouldn't be the place for you to relocate to. And that's your choice. You can move wherever you want to move in America. That's your right. You're a citizen. You were born here. But I wouldn't. If it's a wise choice, Nebraska definitely wouldn't be wise, because you're not accepted. In terms of moving somewhere else, as far as one geographical location to another, you just can't move from one geographic location to another and feel that you will be freely accepted as a resident in that geographical location. And I also will reference something that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said years ago, that, you know, the so-called American Negro think that they could go anywhere in America freely and be accepted, and that's not true. You know, so that what he said is definitely even connected to what I'm speaking about on this platform today. And it still stands on the ground, although he said this 50-some years ago, but it stands on true ground. You know, it's not wise for black people to up and move. I don't care even what their financial status is, especially to a state like this, which is going to be very hostile territory. If you're going to move somewhere around other people, make sure it's not hostile territory like it is here in states like Nebraska and some of the other states I just named that's in this particular regional area and further west of here, like Wyoming and Idaho and Utah and places like that, where a lot of blacks are seeming to become more obsessed with living at. You know what I'm saying? Because I hear it all from time to time, you know, where, you know, blacks are becoming more obsessed with living even in places like Colorado, which is also hostility territory toward black people. And you can't let the metropolitan Denver area fool you. You know what I'm saying? Because I see white people who come from across the state line, from over in Colorado to here in Nebraska, and they had that same hostility, racist mindset toward black people. So, you know, I definitely wouldn't even suggest moving to Colorado as being a wise idea. And with that said, I'm going to pass the mic on back to our brother for a little while and let him give his added expertise on this situation.
Yes. You didn't know this, but our brother, our elder, Brother Dr. Omar, has made his appearance, and I think he's heard enough, whereas if he wishes to, he can be next to come on the mic.
Okay, well then let that brother in then.
Yeah, he's here.
Okay, let him in.
Yeah, so Brother Omar, you have your mic. There you go.
Yes, sir. Peace be unto you.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam, sir. I was listening to Brother Taalib, and he was mentioning about hostile territory.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, the hostility might not necessarily come from individuals or people. But if you're living in an area where the cost of living is too high, that's a hostile territory.
Mm.
You know, and most of our people that are living in the northern region of the country, out west, and of course, as Brother Taalib said, out in the Midwest, those are hostile territory. You know, and if for no other reason, but for the mere fact that economically, it's the problem for poor people. And in our particular situation, poor black folks. So it might behoove us to latch on to the idea of Exodus, Mississippi.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I've lived in the state of New Jersey. I lived there for 43 years. And it was very hostile because the cost of living, I know I said in my mind that there is no way that I was going to retire and live in that state.
Mm-hmm.
I own properties, and my house that I lived in there, I was paying around $8,000 a year just in property taxes.
Ridiculous.
I moved to Louisiana. I bought my house free and clear, and I pay less than $600 a year in property taxes. If I decided to do the homestead, I would be paying less than $300 a year in property taxes. So the idea of exodusing from the north to the south makes a whole lot of sense. And I just wanted to add that with what Brother Taalib was saying, because we as Black people, we have to start making economical decisions. You know, we have to think about finance, because every other people that you're confronted with in this society called America, they think economics. I remember Dr. Claude Anderson spoke about the founding fathers of this country. He said that they make you think that they moved here for religious reasons, freedom of religion. He said, but those people moved here for finance, economics, you know, and therefore it would make sense that we as Black people begin to make economical choices. I wrote down something, that is that wherever you go, you take you with you. So if you are a decent and honorable person where you are now, wherever you go, you take decency and honorableness with you. If you are a horrible individual, wherever you go, you take that horribleness with you. So it's important that we know that we have to do some internal, as a people, some internal observation in order to make our life as a people better. And I would say that our enemies, and I'm not talking about Black people, I'm talking about our white enemies, our Hispanic enemies, our Indian enemies, our Jewish enemies. They want us to focus on race. They want us to focus on the atrocities that happen to us as a people. And mind you, we should take a look at it, but we should take a look at those atrocities from a scientific point of view, as a scientist. And that is, we have to understand that whatever we put in our mind over and over and over again tends to shape us. Brother Taalib was also saying that what he goes through out there in the Midwest, affects his total being.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying to you also that whatever you constantly put into your mind affects your total being. There are a lot of people that they say, look, I'm going to eat better so that my health can be better. So I'm not going to eat any more pork. I'm not going to smoke no cigarettes. I'm not going to drink alcohol. I'm not going to participate in drugs because I want to keep my body healthy so that I can stay here in this existence a little bit longer, add a few more years to my life. What I suggest to you, humbly, is that the thoughts that you think, the ideas that you permit to come into your mind, into your brain, has a physical effect on your body. Just as if you was eating pork, just as if you were drinking alcohol, just as if you were smoking, just as if you were using drugs. The things that you allow to go into your brain. Because I sit down and I ask myself, I say, why is it that we are constantly bombarded with racism?
Mm.
Because it makes you feel bad. And in feeling bad, you hurt and damage yourself. Does that mean that we should ignore racism? Of course not. But don't let it become your whole life. No. And a man told me this a long time ago. He said, look, he said, there is nothing outside of your body that can hurt you. Nothing. If a person has a gun, if they take that gun, if they never fire it and that bullet penetrates your body, no harm is going to come to you. So whatever that is outside of you, who gives a damn if a white man don't like you? Who gives a damn if a white man don't want to live around you? I can't understand for the life of me why we would want to live around him.
Mm-hmm.
But if you allow that to overtake your whole being, if you allow them to go out there, a person gets shot in California. It goes on national news. Why? Why can't they handle that situation in California? It upsets our whole life. Somebody get killed, no activity, no work out of the black man for 2 weeks. They are going to make sure that they keep that before your eyes. Why? Because they understand, your enemy understands. Your enemy understands that anytime you go into that fight or flight mode, your brain shut down. The healthy chemical production in your body shuts down. Why would it shut down? Because you're in the fight or flight mode. There's no, when you are in immediate, imminent danger, there's no time for you to be sitting now contemplating on how far the moon is from the earth. So your body naturally shuts down to focus on that immediate danger. I'm only sharing this with us because this is stuff I need to know too. I'm only sharing this with us so that we can know how to take control of our life. And don't let no one else take control. I decide when to get mad. I decide when to get angry. And it's not going to be because someone set something on national television to be able to touch my buttons and make me feel this way or feel that way. Black people of America, I'm telling you something. You have to realize that every day that you wake up, you got another chance to get your life together. It doesn't matter what happened yesterday. Because that is not going to do anything to get your life together today. Well, what about slavery? It was a terrible thing that we suffered as a people. But our ancestors don't want us sitting around crying about that. Our ancestors want us to get our life together to do what? To pay homage to what they had to suffer and endure. Yeah, we can get out and we will go and we will march to Washington, we will march to this place and we will march to that place. But I'm asking you, what are we producing? It was a terrible thing what happened to our beloved brothers and sisters, George Floyd and all the rest of those hosts of individuals that were killed. But I'm asking you, what have we accomplished since those incidents? What have we done as a people? We got mad, and the few corporations that put the money out, that felt bad along with us, and put money out over $10 billion. Where's that money? Who got it? Who authorized those individuals to take it? Did they confront you as a people? They was out there in our name. Or we just gonna let that money just go? White corporations got that cash, put it in their pool, and they divvy it out to whomever the hell they want to do. As a matter of fact, it was supposed to have been money for black people only. And they put it in a pool for all minorities. Don't you see that the same game is being played on us over and over again? Because we get mad, our brains shut down, and we don't think. Our brains shut down, and we don't think. We should tell Black Lives Matter, we want that $10 billion accounted for. In fact, we don't want it accounted for. We want it put in a pot somewhere for black people only. They went out there and gave it to this white organization because that white organization sponsored that group. We're letting everybody pimp us, man. We got to stop that. They come up with a fancy phrase, and there we go. Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives. Go to their freaking website and see what Black Lives they're talking about. They're talking about transgenders. I don't have anything against transgender people. They're talking about the LGBT. I don't have anything against those people. But you're not going to fucking pimp us. You're not going to do what the Jews did to Dr. King and them. They got us riled up about civil rights. But they wanted to get into Florida. Don't you know that back in the 60s and the 50s, they wouldn't allow Jews in Florida? But they piggybacked on our civil rights in order for them to get into Florida. And if anybody tell me I'm talking anti-Semitic, you're a damn lie. I'm talking anti-pimps. I grew up in Louisiana. And I'm telling you is that these people had the stores. And we were sharecroppers. And what they did was they took those stores, gave our parents stuff on credit, and by the time we harvest our sharecropper, we had no money left. Because they chose and found a way to steal from us, just as people continuously do. Steal from, we got to get tired of that. And I'm not saying get angry. I'm saying let's get smart. Let's begin to think. So that we can can become better. In fact, we don't even have to become better. We just have to become what we are. It's not that we don't do anything. It's just that other people are tricking us. Dr. Claude Anderson said that the term race in America, this is for black people to realize, the term race is not talking about no freaking color. It's talking about an actual race. 85 to 87% of the finance in this country is locked in.
Whoa, technical difficulties. Our brother.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was drinking some coffee. I'm sorry about that. Apologize, brothers, for interrupting.
No, brother Omar. Oh, he's back.
Okay.
Yeah, he dropped off. Yeah, we hear some of your smacking and.
Yes. Yeah. I was just taking a little sip, but yeah.
You're back. You're back, brother Omar.
Yeah.
Can you hear me, brother Taalib?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay. Good. About being seen. We have to realize that 87% of the wealth in this country is locked in. They got it. You're not going to get it. So it leaves 15 to 17% of money that is up for grab, wealth that is up for grab in this country.
Oh, he dropped off again.
Oh, man.
He's having some serious technical difficulties, it looks like.
Let me put y'all on mute for a second, but keep going.
Okay, he's back.
I don't want y'all to hear this. But this is good stuff.
You're back on.
The other 15 to 17% of the wealth in this country is up for grabs by the minority people in this country. The poor people is up for grabs, and everybody's in a race to get that. Right now, even though the Hispanic people have passed us in population, in terms of how many Hispanics are in this country, they got us by maybe 2 million people. But those people can't vote yet. So we still have the upper hand. And we have to realize that we are.
He's having serious technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Hey,
I do apologize for my tardiness. I drunk some doggone. My throat was a little scratchy this morning when I drank a little bit of that Mucinex, and that was it. I do apologize for my tardiness because I had every intention on being on time at the beginning of this broadcast. I had every intention on being here at the beginning. But go ahead, Brother Omar.
Okay, thank you very much. But as I was saying, is that we have to realize that we are in a race here. But if you,
He's having serious problems.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the information so far that he's given is good.
Yeah. Well, let's see what's happening here. Due to technical difficulties beyond our control.
Thank you, young pappy.
I hate to get somebody else to start talking and brother.
Yeah, because I want him to finish what he was saying. Because it was some very good information he was giving.
I'm gonna mute it now. Go ahead.
okay, yeah, we have to focus now on getting our share. That don't mean asking white people for nothing. We have to get together and get our share. This is why it is imperative. It's not even a suggestion any longer to move down south. It's imperative that blacks get the hell out of these crazy ass northern cities. Because there is nothing there for you. Listen, they're pushing us out of them anyway through gentrification. I was talking with a brother yesterday, and I told him I went back to a city I lived up north in Plainfield, New Jersey. I went back there after 10 years to visit my daughter. I had to look for blacks in that city that was predominantly black when I left. Hispanics have taken over everything. Yeah, they talk that brother stuff, but understand something, man. This is a race. And if we don't realize that this is a race, and we out there talk, we this is brotherly love. We love all people. All people don't love you.
Right.
They act like they love you because they want that minority caste that's out there. They want that. They want all of the stuff that was put together for you. When the Civil Rights Bill was passed, they wasn't passed for anybody but black people. That was supposed to be some form of reparation to us. But those clever white people put one clause in there. They added the clause minority. And now everybody is a minority, even the white woman. The biggest part of civil rights went to her. But we are kumbaya on it and still on the bottom. I'm suggesting that we begin to think and stop letting people control our emotions, because you can't get this any part of that 17% with emotion.
No.
You can't get that 17% asking Congress to give you reparation. They're not going to do it, not in our lifetime. Representative Congressman Conyers had that bill before Congress for 40 years. And they are just after 40 years talking about let's study it. What is there to study about slavery? What is there to study about Jim Crow? They're playing games with us. And we're sitting back waiting for them. I love my Adolf friends, but don't put your hopes in reparation. By the time they give us reparation, we could own damn near all of down south.
Mm-hmm.
Give yourself reparation, black people. Put together $5 or $10 a week or a month in a black pool and make sure that nobody touches it. It's only for the whole people. No damn individual going to get nothing. We're going to buy up land down south and take over these cotton-picking southern states. They're up for grabs, whether you know it or not. Brother Taalik told us that, hey, they're not focusing down here right now. Their focus is up north. That's why they're pushing us the hell out of there. So I'm saying, let them have it. Come on down here and enjoy some land. Get a mosquito bite. Because that is where your future. You don't have no future up north. You don't have no future out west. And even our wonderful, beloved black people that are in the so-called middle class, 3/4 of them are two paychecks away from being broke. Why? Because they got to buy exorbitant price housing. They got to pay exorbitant price for bills. They're buying cars that they got to pay $600 or $700 a month for. So all of that extra money that they're making is going. We're spending our money on the wrong type of stuff. Every day that you wake up, black folks, you get another chance to do it right. Every day, you get another chance, another shot. Isn't that a blessing? But just don't, what they say the definition of insanity is. Doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. If the civil rights game was going to work, it should have worked already. I heard Brother Taalik say that. It would have worked already if it was going to work. I implore you, black people, just give coming together a try. You gave civil rights 70 years. Give coming together for 5 years a try, and it will blow your mind. It will blow America's mind. You won't have to ask white people for reparation because they're gonna wanna take credit for the progress that you're making. They'll give you reparation.
Sure will.
It doesn't make sense. Because what's going to happen by the time these guys make a decision, because they're playing game with us. Well, we want to do a study because we don't know exactly who's black, who deserves this reparation. You want to know who's black? The same people that were black when you said that if you had 1% of black blood in you, since you want to play that game. We have to do something different, my beloved Brother Phil. We have to do something different than what we have done. We just can't keep beating the same old horse. Because it's tired. Civil rights is tired. It don't work. We have to separate. I know it scares you to death, but you can't do no worse than what you're doing now. Integrate it. If you integrate milk into a cup of black coffee, you no longer have black coffee. So integration was a non-starter from the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Even Dr. King, God bless his soul and grant him paradise, he recognized that he had made a mistake. And because he recognized that, they killed him. Because he wanted to talk economics. Black people, it's about economics. You're living in a capitalistic society. I implore you, get the dictionary and look up capitalism. The white man's been telling us all along this is a capitalistic society. A capitalistic society was never meant to serve the many. It was never meant to serve the poor. It was meant to take the poor and make money for the wealthy, the 1%. And they keep getting wealthier and wealthier. I agree. I agree that that Dr. King may have come up with his plan too late, but still, we act like we don't even see that part. We still kumbaya. It's like he never said that I'm afraid I've led my people to a burning building. But we shall overcome. That ain't gonna get you nowhere. How you gonna overcome? And you ain't got no money. How you gonna overcome and you have no economics? You will forever be on the bottom. You will be forever begging white people. I'm telling you, you can stop begging white people tomorrow if you come together. Like I've told on past broadcasts, if the black people got together and gave $1 a week, that's $40 million a week. That's over $1 billion a year. That we can take and buy land, that we can take and build businesses. What I suggest we do, we need to build supermarkets. And we just can't build a supermarket. Black people, you got to make sure that you go to no other market but ours. Begin to turn that money over and over and over within the black community. We're spending over $1 trillion a year right now. Consuming, buying stuff. Why don't we just get together and create our own little situation? Hey, listen, man, right now, how many churches are there across this country? That's our distribution centers. Mosques. Temples. And don't you know that that's what Amazon do? Amazon set up warehouses in different regions of the country so that they can get the stuff out to those people quick. It's all before us. All we got to do is begin to think as a capitalist. Every last one of us who hear my voice, I don't care if it's one person, I don't care if it's 10 people, go to the mirror in your bathroom and tell that person you love them. Look in the mirror and tell them. That person that's looking back at you, let them know you love them. Every day until you really begin to love yourself. Tell your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whoever, I don't care. What you do with your personal life is your life.
Mm-hmm.
That you love them. Tell your children you love them. And you're going to get into this race. And stop thinking of race as colorism. We need to get together as black people and come up with another term as opposed to black. That we can call ourselves, that will unite us. Find some. If we say that Dr. King was a great liberator, a great unifier for our people, then let us call ourselves Martin Luther King. But we need to give ourselves a name. Stop taking the name that other people give you. You want liberation? You want freedom? I'm talking liberation and freedom to you right now. I'm not going to take up the whole time, brother Taalib. You know, I'm going to yield. If we have something that we can question, talk about, I'm here. I'm willing to listen. I'm willing to learn. And I thank you. I thank you so kindly for allowing me to share a few ideas. You know, but the ideas that I'm sharing, I know for a fact they're not new ideas.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're new ideas that has been out there. I'm just borrowing them and recirculating them back out into the public, so that we can be a more constructive people. There is nothing can stop us. And I understand. I was talking to a brother the other night, and I say, hey, black people are a handful.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and we can tire a person out. Sometimes we have to step back, take a deep breath, and come back and get in this fight, because we are worth it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe that we are terrible people by nature. I believe that someone has made us terrible. All we have to do is loose. It is so simple to come together. And let me tell you something else. Don't listen to these people that tell you that we are not monolithic. Don't listen to that garbage. Because all that is the people that are doing well, it's their excuse not to help you. That is their excuse not to be held accountable for the fact Okay, I'm gonna. I guess that's my key, my signal. I'm done. I'm done. Thank you.
You're welcome. Young Pappy said, "Uh-oh." All right. Well, you know how I do it here. I have a little something to say, but of course, I always yield the mic to sisters when they're here. Sisters always go first. So I'm gonna pass the mic to our sister, Sister No.
Sister No. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, Omar, for those words. I wish I was more optimistic about our plight as Black people or soul brothers and sisters. When it comes to the future, I wish I was more optimistic about our chances of survival in this current condition that we're in. And I don't feel very optimistic. And that's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. I'm going to piggyback off of what Brother Omar so eloquently spoke on when he was talking about us asking Congress for reparations. And I agree. I agree with everything he said. Asking Congress for reparations is a futile exercise. It really is. It's a futile exercise, which will lead to zero results. And Brother Omar is right. They are playing games with us. They are. While they continuously undermine us through immigration laws and passing more criminal laws. Biden is not done. He's not done with us in terms of passing criminal laws to further criminalize soul brothers and sisters in this nation. And there is a consistent effort, it seems, by these people to not only keep us subjugated physically, but to constantly keep their foot on our necks when it comes to the economic part of it. Now, last year, I told you I read the Biden-Harris plan for Black America. And even though the language contained in the plan specifically addresses racial inequalities and economic inequalities, Biden and Harris, and I'm going to go on record when I say this, I'm going on record. Biden and Harris are not going to deliver upon their campaign promises. I'm going on record to say that. I read the Biden-Harris plan. It sounds good. It seems like a viable proposal. Upon reading it, you feel great and wonderful. After you read it, it makes you feel good. You understand? But I'm going on record to say Biden and Harris are not going to deliver upon their campaign promises in terms of fulfilling all of that language in the Biden-Harris plan for Black America. Okay. In fact, the Biden-Harris plan is not just for Black America. It's for everybody, because it really is a socialist agenda. That's what it really is. It's a socialist agenda. Biden is deliberately pulling our strings, and he's not responsive to Black Lives Matter either. Black Lives Matter sent him a letter last year demanding Black liberation. Okay, and other things. Biden is not responsive to Black Lives Matter. And Biden is not worried about Black Lives Matter. Biden is not worried about, you know, whether Black Lives Matter will tell Black people to not vote Democrat in the upcoming next elections, whenever that is. He's not worried about that. He's not worried about that. The Democrats are not concerned about the plight of soul brothers and sisters, not when they can piggyback off of these millions of immigrants that are currently flooding the country. Mm-hmm. And the thousands more who are currently standing at the borders getting ready to flood predominantly southern states. Oh yeah, that's where they're coming. Southern states. They'll be coming here to Atlanta and taking jobs from Black teens, you know, because they don't mind working, you know, the shitty jobs. They don't mind working jobs making $7.25 an hour, because that's the current minimum wage right now, $7.25. They don't mind doing that. The Democrats and the Republicans have purposely imploded this economy. They did it on purpose. And they've been doing it since 9/11. They've been doing that shit since 9/11. They purposely imploded this economy because they did not want to give soul brothers and sisters reparations, because people were suing their asses for reparations. And certain people were winning. People were finding out the specific companies that were involved in the slave trade, and certain people were winning their cases. They've been doing that shit since they've been doing it since 9/11, purposely imploding the economy, because they really don't want to give us reparations, and they're not going to give us reparations, period. So you might as well forget about it. I'm not saying that you should not still fight to get it. I'm saying you should forget about it, because it is a losing cause. It's a losing cause asking Congress to give you reparations, to empower you economically, because the goal is to keep you economically oppressed and depressed, so they can then take your poverty and make trillions of dollars off of it. They use your poverty to create generational wealth for themselves. And Brother Omar is right. Okay. The plan is to keep you on the bottom forever and ever and ever and ever. That's the goal. That's the plan. And from there cause our extinction as a group in this country. Which I honestly believe the dominant society is planning for our future generations. And see, a lot of people, a lot of, you know, the Hebrew Israelites, a lot of them are thinking that because these people have a recessive gene, that the sun is gonna kill all of them off. You know, they think because they have a recessive gene, the sun is gonna kill off all of these people. And, you know, according to the scientists, they're going to not survive the sun. Okay. Now, you know, y'all better stop it. Y'all better stop it. They can make your ass go extinct. Mm-hmm. Don't think they can't. They've done it before. They've done it before. They can make you go extinct. Okay. Now, I pulled up an article while Brother Omar was talking on Martin Luther King, right? Dr. Martin Luther King wanted guaranteed income. Okay, he wanted guaranteed income for all adult Americans. Okay, now, you know, I heard the brother say that Dr. Martin Luther King, he said that he was afraid he led his people into a burning house before he was assassinated by this cowardly U.S. government, along with Malcolm X. And I said it, I wrote it in my book. I published it on June 29. It was published on June 29, 2020. And I wrote it, the U.S. government destroyed Martin Luther King, Medgar Evers, Fred Hampton, and Malcolm X, and many others. Now, Martin Luther King, if he had lived long enough, oh yeah, he would have been at the forefront for reparations for soul brothers and sisters. But, you know, he already wanted guaranteed income. He already wanted that for all adult Americans. And according to an article I saw on Breitbart today, it stated, you know, where do we go from here? Chaos or a community? King argued that the U.S. government should provide a job guarantee or a guaranteed income to both combat poverty and promote healthy economic growth. He argued that the income should be pegged to the median income of the U.S., although left its exact level to be decided later and adjusted to upward as the cost of living rose. Let me repeat what I just read. Where do we go from here, chaos or community? King argued that the U.S. government should provide a job guarantee or a guaranteed income to both combat poverty and promote healthy economic growth. He argued that the income should be pegged to the median income of the U.S., although left its exact level to be decided later and adjusted upwards as the cost of living rose. The U.S. government does not want to provide a guaranteed income now. The U.S. government does not want to give reparations. The U.S. government does not want to give us universal basic income now. And furthermore, the government is in trillions of dollars worth of debt, which they created because they didn't want to give us reparations to begin with. So, you know, I agree with everything Brother Omar stated because he was on point about everything that I heard myself, and I had to piggyback off of what he said because it's true. We're in a state of emergency as soul brothers and sisters right now in this country, and unless we get our own resources, unless we start to come up with ways to keep the money in our community circulated in our neighborhood, and really, honestly, we really do need to separate. We do need to separate because if we don't, future generations are doomed. Future generations are doomed. I don't have a good feeling. I'm not optimistic about our future in this country under the condition that we're in now. Because we don't have any resources. We don't control our own wealth.
Right.
Other people control your wealth. Other people dictate how much money you get to make on a job. While they making all the money, creating generational wealth for themselves and their future generations, they dictate how you get to live. Okay, because you got to go to work for them because you don't own no companies. I mean, you don't really own no industry over here. Over here. You understand? Like, I think I know one Black woman that own a manufacturing plant based in Chicago. A chemical manufacturing plant. I just know one black woman. Y'all, okay, you know what? I also know black folks that own hotels. Okay, they own hotels too. But baby, we're gonna have to do more than just own some hotels and a 1 or 2 manufacturing chemical plants or what have you. We're gonna have to do better than this in order to survive in this country. We're gonna have to get our own resources and control those resources. And I mean the food. We're gonna have to control the food that we eat at some point, because they can cut you off. They can cut off the food supply at any given time. The government controls how much you get to eat. They control that. And if they decide we don't want to feed these Negroes, and you don't have no control over your own food resource, guess what? They can starve your ass out. Just stop delivering the trucks. Cut the water off. Cut the electricity. Kill the power grid. The power grid went down in Houston. It went down in Houston for 2 whole weeks. And folks was freezing. Think about that. Now the power grid, they might have be a separate line from the U.S. government. They control their own power grid in the state of Texas. So, you know, I guess they separate from the U.S. government and all that. But them folks didn't have no power for 2 whole weeks in Texas. I think it was 2 whole weeks. It might have been 3 weeks. But at least I know for 2 whole weeks, them folks didn't have no damn power. In the middle of winter, it was freezing. It was freezing. Folks was outside, you know, trying to catch some heat. Outside trying to, you know, catch some heat from the, you know, artificial fires that they built, you know, outside or what have you, you know, and some cans and all that. But the point I'm trying to make is Brother Omar is dead on point, and I wanted to hear more. I wanted to hear more of what he had to say, but he yielded the mic. And you know, I really want to hear more of what that brother is saying. And also I want to know, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? I mean, other than just talking, what are we gonna do? Because I'm really, really, really not optimistic about our future. I don't feel optimistic. I feel really bad right now, to be honest with you. I feel really horrible about our future. And I just want to know, brother, do you have, any more words that you want to speak? Because I really want to hear what you got to say, Brother Omar. Also, I want to hear more. Is he gone? I want to hear more. I really do. What can we do now? What can we do now? Right now? You know, and that's all I got to say. I yield the mic.
Well, he dropped off. He didn't hear your request, Brother Omar. Hear your request that you want, that you wanted him to go a little bit more.
Yeah, I really wanted him to go longer.
Yeah, I don't mind. It's Brother Taalib's program. Do you mind, Brother Taalib?
And also, I want Brother Taalib.
Yes, sir.
I want Brother Taalib to get the hell out of Nebraska. I'm just being honest. I need for Brother Taalib to get the hell out of Nebraska right now. No, for real. I'm serious right now, because I read that email and I'm just like, oh snap! You need to get up out of Nebraska, boo. After I read that email, Cause I ain't going through all that down here in Atlanta now. I ain't going through all that. I go through some things, but I ain't going through all of that. Woo! But anyway, brother Omar.
Yeah, he's back. Brother Omar, could you go a little bit more into what you was talking about? That's what the request is. I don't know if he's gonna be able to hang. He's having technical difficulties. He keep going out.
Yeah, was I breaking up earlier?
A little taste. And what I did, I removed one of. I took down all my, all those extra pages or whatever. That made things a little bit better for you on your side, but it's not helping him. He has some type of technical problem on his end.
Okay.
I don't think he heard me when I said that, Brother Omar.
Well, brother, until he come back on.
Well, he's here. He's here. I don't know if he can hear us, Brother Omar. I don't think he can hear us. I don't think he can hear us now. Brother Omar, see, he's not. He's something wrong with his connection. He keeps dropping. I mean, he's been doing it.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Taalik.
Well, brother, just until he comes back on, let me also express this, that and yes, you're exactly correct, Sister Noble. You're correct. Yeah. As soon as situations, as I've been talking about, present itself, I'm definitely out of here. No matter that point. I'm definitely out of here.
Yeah.
However, I did want to share that, just like I heard the brother reference Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. when he said that he was afraid that he had led our people into a burning house. Well, I have to use that same analogy by saying that I am afraid that I led myself out here into this burning house.
Yeah.
Called the Great Plains Midwest. Okay.
Oh yeah.
And which includes Nebraska. And at the time, I want to touch up more on the reason I came out here was because I called myself getting away from the so-called urban repository, as someone would call it. Is a soul brother I speak to here. I communicate here locally with, and that's what he called places like Detroit, Chicago, Atlanta, Baltimore, Oakland, New Orleans, Newark, New Jersey, New York City. He calls them urban repositories. Okay, and Louisville was like an urban repository too, Louisville, Kentucky, which I left from when I headed out toward this way, and where I was also 80 miles east of there, you know what I'm saying? You had your little black ghettos and stuff there too, but it wasn't as crazy as it was in Louisville. But I guess I'm glad that's why I didn't spend most of my time in Louisville when I was in Kentucky, because I might as well have stayed in Detroit if I was going to do that. I might as well have stayed in Detroit or Toledo, Ohio if I was going to go ahead and do that one. But anyway, like I said, at the same time, going back to piggybacking off what you were saying, Sister Noble, even in urban repositories like where you are in Atlanta, you ain't got to go through all that, like you said, and you're in fact right. You don't. Not like out here. And black people, like I say, they get obsessed with wanting to move to states like this, or whether Colorado or Wyoming or Montana, Idaho, you know, states you usually don't hear about as far as black people are concerned. You know, I say that I've come to realize fully now that that is not a good idea, and that all I was doing was running for myself. You know what I'm saying? Instead of facing whatever I was going through back where I was at, you know, back east, you know, I should have just dealt with it from there the best way I could. As I'm dealing with it now, I would have at least been able to deal with it back that way instead of coming out here trying to deal with it, thinking I was going to get what you call some environmental tranquility. But
Yeah.
that ain't worked out.
No.
especially because you know, Lincoln, you know, it's not like where I'm living at here, it's not like a real ghetto, but it is a low income neighborhood, and it does have the implications of what goes on in any other low income neighborhood or area, like drug addiction, drugs, or gang banging, or you know, crime, you know, and whatnot. And what's so funny about it is that black people are not even the majority here. But when I look on the local news here, I see a lot of mug shots of black people posted up on the local news websites here. You know, I'm like, damn, it ain't that many of us, but there's a whole lot of us getting locked up. You know? I'm like, God dang, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so, of course, you know, Omaha, which our brother Taalik has been to as well, like I have, you know, he drives trucks around the country. And, you know, Omaha has this one specific area that's called West Omaha, where your blacks are, you know, and which also where they are segregated at or relegated there through segregation still to this day, you know. And I was talking about earlier how Brotha was lynched there because of a false accusation by a white woman that he raped her back in the year 1919, and 2 years ago in 2019 they just celebrated that as a 100-year anniversary of his death, you know. And if you look at the old pictures of the lynchings from back in that time, you will see that old picture where they show the brother laying with his body burnt in charcoal, you know, like his body burnt like a piece of charcoal laying on the tree branches. Well, that happened in Omaha, where you see the Caucasians standing up over him at the stake, laughing and smiling and stuff, and little white kids standing there. That was in Omaha. I was in Georgia or Florida or South Carolina. That was right in Omaha, Nebraska. You know, so yes, you know, it was going on here, and that's what contemporary American history like to keep swept under the rug. As a matter of fact, if y'all ever can, go online and go to one of them websites where they got the free read books and look up this book called African American History in the Great Plain U.S. Wait, no, it's titled African American History in the U.S. Great Plains. I was fortunate enough to check that book out from a local library here a few years ago, and that's when I really started reading and finding out about information that went on in this part of the country during that period of time of Jim Crow and segregation and all that. And when blacks first came through here to get into the railroad porter industry, you know, because there was a lot of jobs, you know, that was open, and blacks took advantage of it as railroad porters, you know, and that industry was big at that time in this part of the country, and that's mainly why they migrated here, you know, especially from the South. So, you know, it was a lot of, you know, back then they had caught a lot of flack, not only from the local Caucasian population, but also from the white European immigrant population, because they felt, of course, that the niggas was taking their jobs like always, you know, and stuff like that. And so that's what also caused a lot of racial strife and rioting and stuff. And, you know, it caused also too Omaha to be one of the biggest segregated cities in the country that it is today. You know, as a matter of fact, when I first got here to Lincoln almost 7 years ago, someone told me that they saw in Forbes magazine, which we know is one of the most known prestigious magazines in this country, it had blacks, the cities that was the hardest, the top 5 cities in America that was the hardest for blacks to live and survive in. Well, Omaha was in that top 5 list. You know what I'm saying? I wish I could have read that. That probably would have deterred me from coming to Nebraska, period, you know. If I would have read that, you know, because I had been through Nebraska once in the early 2000s, but I didn't stay that long. It was just very, very brief. And most of that time was spent in Omaha. Other than that, had I known thoroughly about the history and researched it, as you know, our people's history in this state, I wouldn't have never came. You know, and that's what my mistake was. I didn't do my research before I came. And that's why the next place I go to, I already know about that place anyway. And plus, you know, it's in the Great Lakes area, you know what I'm saying? But I know about that place, and I will be going there, you know, because of an open door opportunity to help me fulfill my secondary education toward me getting a trade. You see what I'm saying? You know, and I never thought I was going to go back to that part of the country as far as the Great Lakes area. But, you know, hey, it is what it is. But at least I will be around more people that look like me, and I have to deal with this, the crap that I'm dealing with now, you know. And, of course, I totally agree with the brother that eventually blacks do need to relocate back down south, because there's more of us down there than anywhere else in the entire country. And we definitely do have the numbers enough to, you know, to collectively bring our voting power together to where we can, you know, take control of some of them states, like me and Brother Taalik have been talking about for the past 3 years, you know, starting with the Operation Exodus Mississippi campaign, you know, and so, I mean, you know, but the thing is, like I said, is that we got to start with one place first, which would be the state of Mississippi, as an experiment to make sure that once that worked, we'll know that it will work in Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and other parts of the South where it's a majority of our people at. And, you know, but like I said, you know, we have to really get down there, like you say, before the Caucasian actually buy equity into all that land that's left down there untapped in as a resource, you know, and take that what our ancestors, you know, worked hard and built upon, where their blood and sweat lie at within the soil of that part of the country, you know, because if we don't do that, then their work and effort, even through free slave labor, will go down in vain. You know what I'm saying? So that belongs to us anyway. You know, and you know, because they built that. You know, all them crackers did was watch over to make sure they built it, but for their benefit. But however, we owe that because we built that.
Right.
you know, and it's just that simple, you know. But you know, like I said before, you know, we got to really stop going to these crazy places, you know. We got to stop, you know. Even that sister, Patricia Robinson, brother, by the way, mentioning, you know who I'm talking about. that nitwit.
Mm-hmm.
She once told me, you know what I'm saying, that I shouldn't be going to these crazy places, basically. You know what I'm saying? Because she said she had lived out here in Nebraska while she was driving trucks. You know, and you know, she knows about this place when, you know, so, you know, she knew basically exactly, you know, the situation and how the dynamics was when she say she was out here, you know, and basically what she did express, you know, even though she's a dimwit, but however, you know, I have to give credit due to what credit is at. She told the truth about this place, you know. It's a very hostile environment for black people out here, you know, and you know, but yeah, and of course, by the way, I had mentioned Brother Malcolm earlier. That's why the late Honorable Malcolm X did not come back here. You know, especially a soul brother with his mentality, he definitely would have been against heavy uphill opposition, you know, and the fact that they had ran his father along with his entire family up out of here because of the Garveyite pro-black ideology that he stood on, you know, that, you know, them Ku Klux Klan white supremacists wasn't about to have. You know, you're not about to, you know, you're not about to rile a lot of Negroes up here, you know, out here with that craziness or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So we gonna run your ass up out of here. You got one ultimatum: either pack your stuff up and get you and your family up out of here, or we gonna make sure you know, you don't preach that stuff here in our state. And you know how that went usually. So, you know, like I said, yeah, this is that type of place, and I wouldn't encourage or advise any other black person to move to this state. And I really honestly wouldn't advise to blacks to move to a lot of these Midwest states out here in the Great Plains area. And by the way, for those of y'all that don't know, you know, Missouri, which has got two of the biggest known cities in the country, that's known as majority metropolitan area populations, like Kansas City, where I used to live at years ago, and then St. Louis on the eastern seaboard part, near where you at, you know, also is a Great Plains state. It's considered as part of the U.S. Great Plains Midwest. And of course, if you live there, you've been through what you went through there, brother, so you know about the internal racism in that part of the country like I do. And plus, I got a chance to go around a couple other places in Missouri, like Springfield and, you know, Joplin, you know what I'm saying, and stuff. And when I went to Joplin, I found out black people was picking cotton in Missouri, and I was like, what? Yeah, so I mean, yeah, it's, man, you know, this part of the country, you know, like I said, the history with us is not in contemporary. You would have to go look up that type of history in books like Black History in the West or something like that's written, you know, certain, because this was considered a part of the Exodus, like they called in Kansas, which is bordered right up under here in Nebraska. They had a thing where they called it the Kansas Exodus, because you had a lot of black people that migrated there and like toward this way from the south, you know. But they that's why they called it the Black Exodus, you know. And of course, they found out that you know, things things went so great for them being black here as they knew in the South, you know. And so I mean, you know, you still even got the direct third generations of slaves living in Kansas City, Kansas, right across the line from the Missouri side of Kansas City, you know. And so you know, it's like our history is entrenched, and it deals with a lot of that Jim Crowism, you know, even to this day. And like I said before, when we began this live podcast, that you know, this history is so entrenched in racism toward us, is where in this part of the country where it's not put in mainstream American history books, nor is it taught in mainstream education in America's education institutions. They gonna only keep our history mostly relegated to the South and certain parts of the North here and there, like Detroit, Chicago, or New York, or something like that, or California. But they not gonna talk about what went on right here in this Pacific part, where, like I said earlier, where black people was getting lynched in places, and even white folks was getting lynched, like in places like Oklahoma. You know what I'm saying? The same state where that Tulsa uprising took place 100 years ago, as of this year, you know, back in 1921.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you know, it's like I said, it's a lot of history here, you know, and you know, we don't talk, you know, they don't talk about that, you know, they don't talk about these different situations, you know, like Tulsa, Omaha. You know, they just, matter of fact, there was some brothers out of Omaha who was a part of the Black Panther chapter in Omaha, the Black Panther Party chapter in Omaha, back in the early 1970s. They were called the Poindexter Brothers, and they still doing life here, right here on Highway 2 in Nebraska State Penitentiary, for a murder that they was accused of. When a white cop had got killed, they said a white cop had went to investigate a crime at a house or something, and a bomb explosion went off, and he got killed. And they accused them of doing it. And from my understanding, from what it was said in the documentary, that they still had no physical evidence to prove that they were actually connected to the crime, you know. But of course, who they was represented a danger to the establishment, and just like with COINTELPRO, they, you know, who had destroyed many brothers that was a part of that organization and other different organizations involving us as a people, they had to go. And one way they went was, you know, where they still at now. Some 50 years later, you see what I'm saying? So, you know, it's, you know, like I said, you know, people don't talk about the history of our people in this part of the country, and it need to be put more out on the forefront, even in social media and other forms of media. It needs to be put out in the forefront, so that when black people make a decision to move out to places like this, they need to be aware where they going. And just like I was talking about with Brother Dr. Omar Shamsuddin too, was that you know, even in Yoke's area in Missouri, where the NAACP had put out a national memorandum a few years ago, which wasn't long ago, telling black people that if you travel through the state of Missouri, you was traveling at your own risk.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you know, this we talking about the Midwest. We're not talking about the South.
Right.
Not talking about Mississippi, Alabama, and Georgia. You know, you don't hear the NAACP saying that, or you going through Louisiana or Arkansas or Tennessee, that you're traveling at your own risk. This is talking about the Midwest. what I'm saying? So, I mean, we can't get it twisted. We can't keep relegating racism, and especially when it comes to our history as a people, we can't keep just relegating that solely to the South.
Right.
You know, we got to permanently make it known that it's live and well live in places like where I'm at, and where it's even more hostile because of the Caucasian being the majority. Because like here, as I've said before, we as so-called African Americans here in Nebraska is 1%. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, you could imagine, and I'm telling you, I have to pat my own self on the back. Even though I made an irrational decision of coming here, but I'm here, and I've been able to deal with it by making it the best of a situation as possible. And why I am, working towards bettering my life quality as far as starting back with, like I've been doing, going to school for the past few years here. So once I accomplish what I'm accomplishing on that, then I'm out of here. And hopefully by the time I do get ready to get out of here, that will be completed. And if not, I'm still getting the hell out of here, like Sister Noble said. But more likely, you know what I'm saying, I should be having that wrapped up so that once I do get out of here and get on to the next place, I'll be prepared where what I achieved here will open doors for me as far as where I'm going to when I leave here. And so that's going to be that, as far as on that note. I mean, I have to pat myself on the back as far as being able to survive under these kind of conditions, even with a success story. Because when I came here, of course, I came here with nothing. I came here, you know what I'm saying, at a darker point, low point period in my life. And like I say, I was halfway out my damn mind, And like I said, if it wouldn't have been for that, far as on the middle aspect of it, I probably wouldn't even be here. And of course, in Nebraska anyway, I wouldn't even be here. But since I'm here, I've been making it the best of it, like I said, and under these hostile, scorched conditions, because I mean, you can't even, like I told you earlier when we started this live podcast, I can't even talk with other so-called Black Americans about white people because of the fact of how so much they are entwined with white people here. You know what I'm saying? They so much often like you say, they brown nosing them all the time. And I'm talking about these are people that came from the South that know what it is to be segregated. When you're dealing with these Peckerwoods, and I guess they must have forgot that they are in America. But I don't know. But like brother, me and brother Omar Shamsuddin was talking about the other night on the phone, maybe they need to get their head cracked open to see reality. You know what I'm saying? Especially forgetting about where they already had came from, Maybe they need to get their head cracked open and, honestly myself, I wouldn't even lose a tear over it. Because some of them should know better anyway. All of them, they need to get their head cracked open. Because, I mean, it's already hate crime going on here. Like I said earlier, they don't enforce hate crime laws like they do in places like where y'all at in Illinois or maybe in Georgia or somewhere. They don't enforce hate crime laws here like that. Matter of fact, it ain't even a NAACP chapter here, not at least here in Lincoln, Nebraska. I don't know about Omaha because you do got more blacks in Omaha, a few more blacks, but I know here in the state capital, you don't have that here. So you can't really, you don't have nowhere you can really go, you know what I'm saying? If you go file any type of discrimination complaint, you got to go to their government building to do that. You know what I'm saying? And so you already stuck between a hard brick wall because you going to complain to another Caucasian about another Caucasian racist. And who knows, they might be racist. You know what I'm saying? So this is the type of shit we dealing with. Excuse my French.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the type of stuff we dealing with here in this part of the country. Especially for people like myself living here that has more high awareness than those others among our people that are among the few that's here, But like I said, because you can't even trust them, And then they talk about each other, like I said before, or in front of the Caucasian, or to them. They talk about each other and even call each other the N-word and all that stuff. And even they even let other different groups of people call them the N-word. I've sat around out in public, like at restaurants and stuff, and actually saw soul brothers letting other people who don't look like us call them the N-word. I'm looking at them like, and they get that expression on their face because they see how I was looking at them like. So, that just let me know right then and there that I can't deal with them too much. If I'm going to deal with my own kind, I got to wait till I get somewhere where it's more of us and where, where we don't have that, how can I put it? Where we don't have that, what's that damn word I hear people use sometimes, where we don't have that debilitated type of mentality, where we just okay with other people calling us the N-word like that, and then us calling the, and all that, and we don't even say nothing, we don't even take it serious, Like I was telling brother Omar over the phone when I first came here back 7 years ago in 2014, and I was at the local DHS building downtown, and brother was working in there at the time as a caseworker, and he saw my Kentucky ID. He said, "Oh, so you came from the South? You just came a little north, I just want you to know, you just came a little north." And he didn't have to say no more than that because I clearly understood what he meant. You know what I'm saying? So, and then that following evening, some Peckerwoods approached me on the dark street that I was walking down toward where I was staying at on the other side of town, and went to screaming the N-word and talking about they was going to lynch me. And then they turned around and came back in my direction and said some other stuff, and my pulses went up. And I told them straight up, get out the car, and said, and being the cowards they were, they just kept going about their business. But I ended up running into some black people right at the corner, right before I crossed the street to keep going to where I was headed to at the time. And I consulted with them about the situation. Like, man, this shit really going on around here like this? What's up? And, they asking me all kind of questions, irrelevant questions, that ain't got nothing to do with what I'm talking about. And then one cat said, "Oh, they don't mean that, they just blowing hot air." Like, serious? I'm like, I know damn well if I was in Detroit or even Atlanta with Sister Noble at St. Louis, where you at, some brothers would ask you where they at. Especially being they just passed by in their car, a car load them, where they at? We'll be on deck waiting for them with these AKs or something, But these blacks here don't got that type of mentality, So then I knew hey, I can't deal with these local Nebraskans here, these black Lincoln Nebraskans. I can't deal with them here because they got that type of mentality. You just can't trust them. You know what I'm saying? And they the type they'll kill you for one of these crackers. Because I remember years ago, I seen them standing on a porch when they had that issue about the Confederate flag, when that soul sister climbed up on the pole to take that Confederate flag down. I think it was in South Carolina. And, you know, the issue was swarming around that at the time. And, you know, so these white folks started riding around their cars with Confederate flags and stuff. And, you know, posting Confederate flags on the front porch of their house. I seen one Caucasian, and he had a Confederate flag hanging on, you know, I guess to show that's what he stand for. And I seen a brother in dreadlocks standing next to him, talking to him. Like everything was okay, you know, like, you know, and I ain't even seen no stuff like that going on when I was living in the South, you know. I'm like, what? So, yeah, this is a whole entire different situation here, folks. You know, out here in this part of the Midwest, and like I say, I don't suggest nor recommend any other, you know, indigenous Black Americans to relocate out this way. If you're talking about relocating from one state or another, from one regional part of the country or another. I mean, you grown, you do what you want to do. I'm not telling you what to do, but I wouldn't suggest or recommend that you do that, especially for the, you know, the sake of your safety, your family's safety, and just the fact because of what you're going to be up against because of your color. But I just wanted to point them things out, you know what I'm saying? And put that out there, you know, because, I mean, this is serious, you know? And if anything was to happen to me out here, a person like me out here, you know, especially being I'm not from here, you know what I'm saying? And if anything was to happen to me out here, y'all wouldn't know. Mm-hmm. Y'all be blowing up my phone like, what's up with Taalib? Mm-hmm. You know? What these folks did to our brother out there in Nebraska. That's what y'all be saying. Because, you know, these white folks here, you know, of course, they, like anywhere else, they ain't got no problem with locking you up, but they could try to get you hemmed up on trumped up charges too if they can, you know? Because mostly like these you know, these lower level poor Caucasians here, you know, they got family that work in the courthouse, in the criminal justice system, that might be prosecutors, judges, lawyers. You know what I'm saying? You do something to one of them, you have to go up and face a judge that might be one of their relatives or something, you know? That's how some of these Caucasian females be setting up some of these brothers that's so quick to, you know, jump in bed with them. I saw one of these Caucasian females, especially one that got family that work in the system here. You going under. That's why them brothers who months ago shot and killed the Caucasian woman on the bus of city, usually they don't do that. Here, when you have people shooting at city buses and stuff like that, when they killed the 67-year-old Caucasian woman, and so now they definitely finna get made an example of. You know, these people ain't playing it. You know, so like I said, you know, you can't come, and like I remember a soul brother who was from the South told me he moved up out of here because he was waiting for his daughter to finish her college education at the University of Nebraska that's based here at the main campus here in Lincoln, Nebraska. And he was telling me that, you know, a lot of these brothers who come through Lincoln think that they could just do anything they want to do. And this is not the type of place like that where you could just come and just do anything you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Because these white folks here will deal with you, and you know what you already up against, and they don't want you here anyway. But you come in here anyway, and you're doing nigga wretched stuff or nigga type stuff. So you know they gon' you know, deal with you. You know what I'm saying? In like manner. And you know you can't blame nobody but yourself. You know what I'm saying? But coming to a place like here, you know. I honestly, and I would say this, for brothers that come here that want to get in the dope game, you know what I'm saying, that want to get caught up with crime here, I say keep taking your butt west. You need to stay on I-80 and take your butt further west to Denver or Las Vegas, wherever you got to go. But Nebraska ain't the place for that. You know what I'm saying? Because they will go and throw you up under the penitentiary here and hide you if they don't kill you, or if they don't even lynch you somewhere in one of these backwoods here somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say, you know, that we got to be real conscious of when we travel, when we move out and about and around the land, you know, throughout this country in America. We got to really be conscious what we traveling to. It may not, segregation may not be the law of the land as on paper, but it is still the unwritten law of the land. And we got to understand that. And we are among a people that's doing everything they can in their power to keep it like that. Like them people that you know, committed that insurrection act on the U.S. Capitol 2 months ago. You know, these are the type of people that's all over this place where I'm at. You'll find many of them. You know, they still riding around, flying their Trump flags even after Trump lost their election. You know what I'm saying? So they're very pertinent in what they believe in around here. That's why I guess they call this Trump country. You know, so you know, this is definitely not a place where I would recommend any indigenous Black Americans to relocate to, and I'm clearly making that known on record. You know, as someone would say, you know, for real. But you know, and also, you know, I would say too that if you're traveling, especially to states like Missouri, like I said before, and even Nebraska and Kansas, travel carefully, and I say that even to those of you like that got an occupation like yourself, driving trucks. Travel carefully, you know, and be aware of what's around you, you know, because these are not Black-friendly type states, even though none of these states are Black-friendly type states, but especially these ones where they'll make your life miserable, especially if they can, you know. They will make your life miserable for you, especially if you put yourself in a situation that will actually allow that too, you know. They will actually make your life miserable because they already, like I say, they don't really want us here anyway. They don't want people that look like us here anyway. So, with that said, you know, and also too, I just want to point out that, you know, I'm okay, and even though, you know, I'm focusing on what I got to do presently right now with my education while I'm here, but I'm focusing. I'm at the same time staying optimistic, and I'm you know, keep doing it that way to the best of my ability until I get up out of here, like Sister Noble said. And with that said, I'm gonna pass the mic, and y'all can give y'all closing statements and commentary on that situation.
Well, I don't think Brother Omar is going to be. He's having serious connection, so I don't think he's going to be able to do a closing. He's having very serious. Like
you say, you let sisters go first, of course.
Yeah,
let Sister Noble have.
If she have any closing remarks here.
No, I want to hear what Brother Taalik got to say.
Who?
I want to hear what you got to say.
Okay. Because I wasn't going to say anything really, but Brother Omar is not going to be able to say anything. He can't stay online. He's having serious difficulties here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
you might be able to get a few words in.
I don't know if I don't even know if you can hear us. Can you hear us, Brother Omar?
Pardon me?
Oh yeah. Did you have any closing remarks? If you can, I don't know. You haven't breaking
No,
up.
my thing is jumping in and out so bad it wouldn't be worthwhile. I
Yeah.
just thank you very much, and I'll pass the mic on.
Yes, he's never had that type of problem. It happens sometimes, you know, and it happens.
Or we could be being monitored.
Who knows? Who knows?
No, I'm serious. We could be being monitored.
As far as I'm concerned, we're the only one worth monitoring.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, nobody
Exactly.
else was worth.
You on point.
Yeah,
You on
nobody
point
else
with that.
worth nothing. We're the only ones worth monitoring. We're the only ones worthy of COINTELPRO. We're the only ones worthy of that. Bring that to us. You want everybody else is no threat. That's why they're allowed to flourish the way they do. They're not they don't get harassed or nothing. Just come on, the black woman do this, the black man do that, and the Hebrew is a hazeka, whatever they was talking about yesterday, and all that other stuff.
Who was talking about what?
I'm talking all over the internet. That's, you know, it's the same conversation.
Oh,
Eric Muhammad versus one brother, Islam versus whatever, same old stuff. What is that going to do to get us out of this situation once and for all? That's what I want. That's nice. That's great for schools of theology, you know, Muslims versus the Comedics or whatever. That's good for universities. That's not good for liberation. I've never heard a class on some type of theology free anybody. Now, if you can use those things to inspire you to liberate yourself, that's different. Like Nat Turner. Nat Turner was inspired by his relationship with the Creator, being a Christian man. He was inspired by that to rebel against his enslavers, as well Harriet Tubman and many others.
well, I wrote a book, so I'm promoting my book.
Yeah.
So, you know, I wrote a book, and if you feel like that is you know, not worthy of, you know, any COINTELPRO, which is not really, you know, well, that's your opinion, you know. But, you know, I wrote a book. I'm trying to sell the book.
Where did you get this from? I'm not talking about.
No, I'm saying, like, you know, I wrote a book and I'm promoting my book.
Well, you know,
so that's what I'm doing. I'm promoting my book.
Right, you produce it. I mean, you promote a book, but even you said earlier, I don't know if it was a live stream or to me personally, you said that does not help us get out of this situation.
I didn't say my book did not help us get out of this situation. What I said was, and let me go back and quote what I said.
Yeah.
Because I did not say my book does not help us to get out of this situation. What I said was, and I quote, hold on. Okay, well, I just go back to the beginning. What I said was, first, I want to thank you, Sinetta and Nepal, for inviting me on your platforms to give a presentation on my new book, God is on Trial, and talk about the Sumerian creation myth and give people more clarity and expound on topics that many of your viewers are probably still on the fence about. I am truly thankful for this great opportunity. I want to give a shout out to my brother Taalik, Angel Snupnup 7. Check out his YouTube channel at Reality'sTempleOnearth Internet Ministry. The views expressed here today are not those of Angel Snupnup 7 or Reality's Temple on Earth Internet Ministry, which does not deal in religion and spirituality. With that being said, let me get into this powerful presentation that I have prepared for Sinetta and Nepal's audience. Right. Before I start, I would like to add that knowledge is power only if it is applied in your current condition. Knowing all that we as a people, that other people have named African American and Black and Negro And I said, I was told I wasn't black enough. That's what I also said. If we don't take what we know and apply it to liberate ourselves from under this sociopathic, psychotic rape culture and racist nation in which other people have all the resources, in which other people control all the resources, have monopolized all the resources on the planet and taken control over the resources, effectively starving out entire populations. If we don't take what we know and apply it to liberate ourselves, then how is the knowledge benefiting us? That's what I said. I didn't say my book did not do anything to help us get free. I said, if we don't take knowledge and apply the knowledge to liberate ourselves, then how is the knowledge benefiting us? That's what I was talking about. Okay. And that I made those comments at the beginning of, at the very beginning. I made those comments
right before.
So I'm not going to denigrate my book just because you may not think that this knowledge is liberating us. I'm not going to denigrate something that I wrote and created. I said knowledge is power if it is applied to your current condition.
Right.
That's what I said.
I concur. The problem here is apparently we don't know how to take what we learn and create power, because all knowledge is power, but also at the same time it has to be the right knowledge for your situation. Okay, but I'm gonna tell you.
Well, the title of my book is God is on Trial.
Right.
How religion keeps humanity under mind control and fear.
Right. I would say this. There's many times, and I can't lie and say that it has not been frustrating when you come up with something here and it's not really my idea. And just like that brother Charles Blow said in his book, this was something our ancestors was doing anyway. The only thing I've done, and brother Charles and brother Omar even brought to me, we're just bringing it to modern time. They was doing it anyway. This what we call taking control of a state. They was doing it anyway. That's why the racists found it necessary to stop their progress, to stop their flow. They found it necessary. And when I get attacked, when I'm mocked and degraded and take all this heat from this, I'm not going to say that it's not frustrating, because it is. But also at the same time, when I feel as though I should give up on this plan, on this idea, then there is a Charles Blow who comes 3 years after myself and brother Taalib had a telephone call and came up with this plan called, originally just plainly, Mississippi Campaign. But then you have somebody 3 years later that comes in New York Times bestseller list. He's all over CNN, all over, with basically the same type of talk. But we was talking this for 3 years. And then I got a call from brother Omar, and he was saying that he was thinking about the same thing, probably more so like what brother Charles was saying, but basically it's still the same idea. This is something whose time has come. Otherwise, it will not even exist. And we've been saying this on this platform for 3 years. I was on a program yesterday, Brother D. Darrell's program. And I asked his audience outright, because they don't even know me. They're not even listening to what I have to say. Who is this guy? Blah, 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 blah. They don't know They're not even trying to get to know you. Just because your idea or your strategy is different, automatic. I don't want that. Haven't even tried listening to what you have to offer. But like I told them, we've been listening to what you've been talking about for the last 50 years, the last 100 years. It has not worked. You cannot make mockery of what I'm talking about because you haven't tried it. We've tried civil rights. We've tried voting in the manner that we think that it should go. We've tried picking the best white president. We've tried education. We've tried all these different things. Money. We've tried all these things. Nothing has solved our problem. All the money you got, all the education you got, everything that you got, it still has not changed your problem. Your problem is still considered. Matter of fact, some people say that it's worse than it was during the time of Dr. King. It's worse. And there's a speaker called, I don't see his videos no more. I don't know if he stopped talking. Tim Wise, this white guy, Tim Wise, he's a Jew too, I believe. I heard one of his lectures. He said that the condition of black people is worse. And he brought up the statistic. Our condition now is worse than it was during the time of Dr. King. But we don't think that way because many of us, they allow some of us to have a little something, material thing. And then they throw them in your face. You can be like Oprah. You can be like Will Smith. You can be like this very small minority of people. This is who you can be like when you're looking at 40 plus million. 40 plus million can't be like Oprah. Can't be like Gail. How did that 40 million cannot be that? Using that logic, well, y'all should be like Bill Gates. Every white man I see, why aren't you like Bill Gates? Why aren't you like the CEO of Amazon, whatever? If that's the case, using that logic, why aren't you like President Biden? Using that logic. It's silly logic. It don't make any sense. But I'm asking these persons on this platform, what do you have better? Even if you were successful, could it bring the benefits of the Mississippi campaign? Even if you were successful, no. The best thing that you could do is,
I first of all, I don't think I'll ever achieve real success. First of all, and let's get that get that clear right now. I don't think I'll ever really achieve real success, according to the world's standard, because I'm talking about stuff that's against the mainstream here.
Right.
I'm talking about stuff that's going against the grain, the mainstream, which is Christianity.
Yeah.
They don't want you talking against Christianity and telling folks, that Bible, you need to put that Bible down. They don't want us talking like that. Y'all need to put that Bible down because that Bible is got y'all mind destroyed. They don't mainstream. They not gonna promote somebody like me. They not. Somebody like me, not gonna happen. I'm talking about mainstream. They not gonna happen. Okay, so I in terms of the world standard of success, I don't think them folks gonna ever put me up there like that. I'm just telling you, they're not gonna put me up there like that. Even if I did become successful.
Well, actually, you could still be on that level. It's according if the people in social media, how many people.
Yeah, even if I did become successful, it'll be in a certain community.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like mainstream, to my mainstream success. Yeah. No, I don't see that.
Is enough success.
Yeah. So my thing is, you feel like this book is not going to help us get liberated. Well, I mean, that's your opinion. If you, have some type of, opinion about this book ain't gonna help. It ain't gonna help us get liberated. Well, that's your opinion. But it is going against the mainstream. It's going against the mainstream.
Why?
when it comes to
Where is this coming
Christianity.
from? Where is this coming from?
No, I'm just, I'm listening to you, and I'm just like, okay, well,
Talking about religion is not going.
It's a
talking about religion. I know what the book.
It's a start, but it ain't gonna make these folks have a mindset. It ain't gonna make them have a mindset to liberate themselves.
Oh.
I mean, completely liberate themselves from under the system of racism and white supremacy. That's what I mean. Completely liberate themselves from under the system of racism and white supremacy.
Yeah, but what your book does, is get you into the door, so they can listen to something new.
Okay.
Because they need something new.
Yeah.
Be able to understand a new strategy, a new mindset. And that's what you do. That's what your book does. And what it has done is being able to those who only listen to the left, now listen to the right a little bit. They always looking north. Why don't you look south a little bit? It opens the door so they can able to see something other than the redundant things that they've been doing for the last 50-some years.
Mm-hmm.
Because they come to your channel and they've been listening to Soul Liberation Day. They've been listening to all these other different viewpoints and thoughts other than the redundancy that they're used to. I mean, the brother that had me on his show yesterday, I could see in his eyes, I was a breath of fresh air. It's because he used to the same old redundant talk.
Okay.
And that's what it don't make no difference. I'm not trying to convert you or change your mind to nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Just giving you a breath of fresh air. That's up to you. But I just we're behind. So I asked them, what do you have that can bring the benefits, even if you were successful, that the Mississippi campaign, even if you was successful, it's not. And just like Brother Omar was talking about, when we talk about race, it's not about skin color. It's about economic race. And we fall behind.
Yeah.
And an Omar school and all this little, what I say, and it's not trying to disrespect nobody, but this tiddlywink stuff that we do, it's not going to get us back into the race.
Yeah.
You ever see those cartoons and one of the cartoon characters is way behind in the race? Then they put some kind of super fluid or some kind of super gas in the gas tank or do something fantastical. They go whoosh so they can get back in the race.
We so far behind. We are so far behind. I don't know. I mean, we are just too far behind. And unless we do something now, like right now,
that's the only way.
I don't think we're gonna make it. I mean, honestly, because we don't have any resources right now.
Right, and that's the purpose of the Mississippi campaign. Not to own anything. I'm not giving these crackers no money. I'm talking about in a position so that you can control you don't have to own it to benefit from anything. Like I told them, you can rent a car. You don't have to own the car. You rent the car, lease the car for your own purposes. Let them pay to get it fixed. Let them pay to replace the headlight. Let them do all that. All they all want to do is use this vehicle for my purposes. I'm going on vacation, or I'm using it to do Uber or whatever I'm doing with the car. And then when I'm done, give it back to them. It's not about ownership. Right now, you don't have to worry about no ownership. Worry about getting yourself in a position to gain power because you control these resources. You put yourself in a position so that you can gain power. If you don't have any power, you can't get in this race. And like Brother Omar said, we are at an advantage over the Hispanics. Right now we are. But as time goes on, just like Dr. Claude Anderson said too, you're going to mess around, we're going to mess around, going back and forth over stuff that don't mean nothing. You're going to wake up one day, well, we might not, we probably be dead and gone. But our offspring, our generation, they're going to find themselves in a position like so many of them in India
Mm.
If you was born in poverty, that's where you stay. There is no other class. It's a permanent class.
Mm.
Matter of fact, I heard that's what's behind the red and the black dot.
Oh yeah.
The black dot, I believe, you are permanent
underclass. Mm.
That's where we headed to. And see, those who are living today, you know, they can listen to YouTube and wear their pretty clothes, whatever. They don't care nothing about the future generation. That's a lie. It's a lie. When you talk about, I care about my grandchildren, you're a lie.
Mm.
And see, the thing about it, especially many of us 50 years and older, whatever, we might have 20 years left or less or whatever.
Mm.
You live your life. You had your children. You experienced your life. Why not use your life, sacrifice your life to benefit the future generation? And at the same time, you put yourself in a position where we can become the greatest generation ever produced. Because to come out of this, it took a lot of courage, a lot of wisdom to get out of this.
Yeah.
You are actually breaking the back of racism for the first time in 500 years. If you take these actions.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't take these actions, because no other action is going to do it. I have not seen it. No other action is going to do this.
Mm-hmm.
And Brother Omar was talking about, you know, we singing these songs and we make fun of Christian people, talk about we shall overcome, we shall overcome. Well, Black Power ain't done nothing either. We've been doing Black Power, Hotel, Black Power. Also, it ain't done nothing either. Why you making mockery of the Christians? Matter of fact, Christianity, we being Christians have been around longer than Black Power, and Christianity, we under Christianity have progressed and we have fought for us longer than Black Power had. I have not seen nothing Black Power have done except talk big. That's all. They got a big talk, but they have not really done anything. I guarantee you, you can get a slice of bread from a Christian church faster than you can from these black folks. Matter of fact, they'll be begging you for your slice of bread that you got from the Christian. That's what these black folks do. I've been around them a long time. So I'm not impressed. Like I told the people on the platform, I'm not impressed by your Pan-African, your pro-blackness, all this talk. And that's all it is a bunch of talk. I've been hearing this same talk since I was a little boy in the late 1960s. I'm sick of talk. Tired of making excuses why you are a loser and a failure. Well, brother, you know this and the COINTELPRO. Just excuse it. Okay, the COINTELPRO. Now, what do you know about all this stuff? And you're still a loser. You know about COINTELPRO, you know about the agent, then the spy, and you know about all these different things, and you're still a loser. So why are you still a loser since you know all these things? When a boxer understands his opponent, and he knows his opponent's weaknesses or whatever, then now he's in a situation, he put himself in a position, now he can win the fight. He knows all his opponent's little tricks and all this kind of good stuff. Now he can win. Why haven't you won? We still living off the benefits of the civil rights era, which was some damn crumbs. It was crumbs.
Mm.
And then we have a popularity contest. You know, I don't like Angel Snub Knob 7 because I don't like him. Yeah, but Angel Snub Knob 7 might have what you need in order to solve this problem once and for all. Leadership ain't about it's not a popularity contest. It's nice that you like the leader, you know, whoever is in charge. It's nice that you like them, but that's not what makes a good leader. Because a leader and those who are in charge understand that sometimes you got to make just like in your own house. Your daddy come home, he lost his job. So now things in the house gonna have to change. Children don't understand all these things, especially young children. Although they know they got what they got. Well, now things change. Daddy, we're not getting the income what we used to have. I don't like daddy. I don't like because they don't understand. leaders have to do things, the people in charge, proper leadership have to do things. Sometimes the masses don't understand what they're doing. I remember I was playing volleyball, and we was playing against a rough, a bunch of white girls, college players. And so they was tough. I came up with a plan, and we was losing. And one of the brothers came to me, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" He didn't understand the strategy. He didn't understand. I said, just roll with me, man. Have a little faith there. Well, I don't know, man. Because he didn't want to lose. We won the game. He don't know how. To this day, he probably don't know how. I had a strategy. We are fighting somebody just like we are against this enemy. You're fighting somebody that they don't like the word. They're superior to you. They got the advantage. This ain't no way we should have been able to beat these white girls. They play college volleyball. We're nothing but some mental patients in the crazy house, you know. Some of them don't even know, never played volleyball in their life. We shouldn't have been able to win. But I understood what I was dealing with. I understood the talents of each of my players, and I took advantage of it, came up with a strategy, and we won. And we won. But they don't understand how we won. And the people that we beat, how the hell did they beat us? The white girls like, how did you? I don't understand it. Because I understood what I'm dealing with. The reason why we can't move forward, because you don't really, you talk about racism, white supremacy, but you really don't understand it. Neely Fuller Jr. said in his book, if you don't understand white supremacy, racism, you're going to always be lost. They don't really understand. You understand the hurt and the pain that it brings you, the oppression, but you really don't understand exactly how it works. You don't know why. You're not smart enough to look at this and you think that you can just outbox it. No, you got to, it's like martial arts. In martial arts, they teach you, you go for the eyes, because that's a weak spot. The throat, ears, the solar plex, weak spots. This white man got a weak spot. Hit him in his weak spot. Concentrate on the weak spot. You want to try to go at him like you're just as strong as he is.
And that would be the economy.
The economy.
That would be his weak spot. I think, yeah. Because we can't beat them militarily because we don't have an army.
No, you don't.
But we can beat them economically.
Economically.
Yeah.
That's how the Japanese
we can beat them economically.
Got back on them because of economics.
We can beat them economically.
Yeah. And everything you do, you don't have to worry about COINTELPRO. You don't have to worry about all these spies because everything, all the activity that you're doing is absolutely legal. Just like the brother said in his book, everything that we'll be doing is absolutely legal under the Constitution. So how are they going to do, what are they going to do to you? You're not breaking any laws.
Because black people got money.
Yeah, they got plenty of money.
Yeah, that's their weak spot. That's their Achilles heel, the economy.
See, look.
Economics.
So, brothers and sisters, black people are sick of being losers. We've been losers. Everything we tried, always losing. And the COINTELPRO and the white man did this, and after you lose after a certain period of time, you just get tired of fighting. You just get tired of fighting. I'm just gonna live my Negro slave life and die. That's it. So I'm telling us that we need to have something big enough to inspire the people to get back in the ring. One more time. Try one more time. I can't guarantee you nothing, but I truly feel you're going to win this one. But see, because in the past, we did not have the support of the 40 million. Dr. King basically had a few thousand. Nation of Islam had a few thousand. You You need something that where everybody can actually get on, and there's no excuse. Well, I don't want to be part of that. That's the Muslims. That's the comedic stuff. I ain't into that. No, this is neutral. This has nothing to do with being comedic. This has nothing to do with being a Moor. This has nothing to do with being a Christian. This has something to do with you as a people. Since if you claim that you love yourself and your future generation, that's all it has to do. And you want to make a better way for them. That's what it's about. I don't care what you're doing in your bedroom. I don't care if you eat pork. I don't care about that. I don't care about those things. Now, I will ask you, because in order for us to be successful with this, it's going to take a certain amount of righteousness. Because drunks and dope fiends can't pull this off. I will ask you, can you, instead of smoking 50, 2 packs of cigarettes a week or a day, can you back off, and the money that you will spend on that, why don't you give it to this cause? But see, in order for us to pull this off, they got to see production. So we got to produce. It's important that you produce and produce fast. And see, when they see that you're producing and it's getting better and better and better, and see, it's like the snowball effect of snowball rolling down the side of a hill. This avalanche. It all comes. It all comes to us. If that's what you want, if you really want your liberation. And see, you don't have to ask for your liberation. You're going to take it. You don't have to ask for reparation. You're going to take it. Because you control the economy, the budget of a state. When have we ever, as a people, controlled the budget of a state? Never. Ever controlled the military of a state? Never. Here you are, we don't take control of this one particular state. We control the National Guard. We control the police department. We control the school system. Whatever, however we want to. All those old laws that was against us, we can knock them all down, knock them all out. We can make it easier for you to have a government loan for your business. And like I was telling them, I don't know, it's not against the law for the state of Mississippi to give a loan outside of the state to somebody in another state. I don't think that's against the law. But you are a citizen. As far as I'm concerned, you are a citizen of this state, even if you live in another state.
Now, if these immigrants flood these southern states, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah. That's why you have to do things now.
That's going to be a problem.
Before they can get to the point where they're able to vote and all this other stuff. And they are able to get into positions of being a mayor and council people. Because once they begin to be able to get into those type of positions, we're done.
That's why they want these immigrants in this country.
Yeah. Because that's gonna mess up our whole group.
That's why they want these immigrants here.
Now, it really wouldn't stop us if he really was on the ball, but it would make things much, much more greater difficult. It would be easier now.
Oh my God. Charles Blow. Yeah. I have not read his book, but he's right. Black folks do need to migrate back to the South.
Yeah.
He's right.
It's easier.
Black folks need to migrate back to the South.
Yeah, it's easier. This is your best position is the South.
Wow.
Right now. Because I think Atlanta is a sanctuary city. So they're going to come to Atlanta.
They're going to flood Atlanta, exactly.
They're coming to Atlanta.
Oh, yeah.
Those immigrants.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my goodness.
They're going to be at your local Kroger.
Yes.
They're going to give them a work visa and stuff. They're going to be your cashiers. And
yes. Yes.
Can't even speak English.
Oh, yeah. Oh.
Next thing you know, they're going to be your mayor. Because it really don't take a long time
No, it doesn't.
Go through that process. Next thing you know, they are what they call it, a citizen.
Because if they hurry up and process them quickly, they'll be citizens within 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they'll be able to vote then and change the demographics in the Republican as well as the Democrat Party.
They become
because they'll be able to send their people, whoever is, among them has a charismatic personality and they're very good at speaking, public speaking and all that. They'll be able to send their people, put their people forward in these, elected, positions. Wow.
And they're not like us. They're not like us. I mean, it's not like they love each other, not like that, but they're not like us. They understand the need when it's time to come together for what is in the best interest of them. They understand that. It's not about, do I like so-and-so and do I like, they don't trip off of that.
No, I'm talking about, the people among them that has a charismatic personality, because you got people that got charismatic personalities and stuff, they can, woo a crowd and all that, like Donald Trump, you feel me? Stuff like that. But, I'm talking about,
of course that's going to come.
Oh my goodness.
Somebody's going to come up among them.
Yeah.
And them, look, we as a people need to do this.
Yeah.
That's going to happen. It's natural. Because it's natural for people to look out for themselves. We're the only one on this planet. We're too busy doing other stuff to look out first what is in the best interest of yourself, your number one priority. Your number one priority should be a safe haven, giving yourself some power, putting yourself in a better position in this society before others can come in, because we've already allowed African people, Asians, and all other kinds of folks to come through. See, at one time this was out of our hands. It was out of our hands. We weren't in no kind of position. We're in a much better position. And so
got money but no economic power.
Yeah. Got money but no economic power. Nothing but a bunch of consumers. We're not producing. Actually, this country has become that itself. America don't produce too much of nothing on its own no more. It's a country of consumers. When I was a little boy growing up, almost everything I got made in the USA, made in the USA. I think really it was Walmart that really kicked this whole import thing out, because he started importing. That's how Walmart got big. Sam Walmart started importing cheap stuff from overseas. That's how he got Walmart started. The cheap labor over there. He was able to get these products and blah, blah, blah. Because when I was growing up, when I was growing up, it was made in the USA, and America had a saying, top quality. You could get something made in the USA, and America used to brag about, I make a car, you got this car the rest of your life. Good, strong, quality products. That's what you get from America. Now, you get a car and pay $60,000 for it, hit it with your fence, and you don't cause $10,000 worth of damage. Pieces of junk. That's not the way it was back in the day. It was quality stuff. They used steel and iron.
Yes, they did. Yeah.
Now it's plastic that looked like steel. I was looking at one of my relatives' cars, and they was talking about, I'm getting ready to get rid of this car because the bumper, it looked like steel, but now the paint stuff, it's nothing but some kind of hard plastic.
Wow.
It's not steel. I remember when I was a little boy, I could go to a car with a magnet and stick that magnet almost any part of the car. Do that. You can't do that nowadays. You be searching for a place to put this magnet, because it's a bunch of hard, plastic, some kind of plastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
The only thing that's metal is those things that absolutely have to be metal. The rest of it is some kind of plastic, hard plastic they put together. But we're gonna have to do.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to do better. And like I told them, I understand that all stories don't have a happy ending. this could be a story that don't have a happy ending.
Mm.
It's not that we here on this channel. It's not that we didn't try, because you can take a horse to water, you can't make him drink. You know,
because people have seen your videos internationally, so know your videos all people have seen them all over the world. You know what I mean? So they can't say they don't know. That's probably how he found out. Charles Blow. That's probably I'm just keeping it real right now. That's probably how he got on to it. You see what I'm saying? And then wrote a book because he was already in mainstream media already before writing the book. See what I'm saying? So he latched on to what he already heard, and then he went and did some research, and he wrote this book. You feel me? I'm pretty sure he done seen your stuff. I mean, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say I'm pretty certain, because the way he was talking, it sounded just like Operation Exodus, Mississippi. Yeah. Except he's saying that Black people need to take control, take control of multiple states. Right. That's the only difference. That's what he differ at right there. Than you. You're saying start with Mississippi. He included Mississippi along with some other states. So I'm fairly certain he has seen your videos. He called Mississippi. He called the Mississippi the Vanguard at one time. See that what I'm talking about. Yeah, that what I'm talking about. And I ain't even read the book. I haven't even read the book. And I don't need to read it. Really, because I've been learning about it here. Yeah. On Reality's Temple on Earth. Yes, ma'am. So I'm just like, oh my goodness. I mean, and his book is on the national bestseller list right now. Number 4. The last time. Number 4. Yeah, number 4. Okay. But yeah. But you think my book will ever get on the national bestseller list? I'm just playing. I'm just playing. Keep doing your thing. Keep promoting, keep pushing. You don't know what don't know. We don't know. One day, even if it got on, as long as it get there, it could be 100. I'm on the bestseller list. Who knows? Yeah. We don't know. Because how people going to buy your book, whatever, if they don't know that it exists? So you're promoting it, putting it out there. Same thing with this Mississippi campaign. How can people make a judgment? How can people talk about something that they don't know even exists? Yeah, yeah. So that's the first, like I was telling that dumb troll Alquan, the first thing that must be done, people have to know. If they don't know, how they gonna make a decision about something they don't know? How do you gonna make a choice about something if you don't see it? If you only see rotten apples, but there is a good apple, you just looking at the rotten apples like, damn, that's my choice. So we got to, the only thing we can do is try to do the best that we can to put it out there. But also we got forces among our own who are afraid of words. Don't even want you to put it out there. No. What is that? Prejudice and bias against new ideas and strategies. Yeah, yeah. It's something that they think gonna hurt what they believe in. Yep, yep. That's the first thing. Yeah. God is on trial. Just the title itself hurt people. Yeah, yeah. Because I noticed that, like when I first presented it online, folks genuinely were offended. Yeah, just by the title itself. The title offended them, and I'm like, wow, really? A title? A title. You haven't even read the book. No, just the title offends you. The title. And I think it offended Alquan. The title. Yeah. Offended Alquan. Yeah. So he brought me on, his program trying to embarrass me. Yeah. Because he was offended at the title. The title. The sister that called me out of my name on his program was offended at the title. Neither one of them read the book. No. So I'm just like, okay. Well, on that note, we 3 hours in, we get ready to roll out.
Could I chime in for a second?
Yes.
I just want to say that and with what I just sat there and heard you and Taalik expound on,
yeah,
it shows that, like someone I heard some Taalik saying or critiquing someone earlier, saying that yes, in fact, we as a people are in a worse condition than we were during the time of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Mm-hmm.
Because just like the sister was saying, people get sensitive to a little stuff like with the title of her book, or get sensitive because, you know, and I'm sure a lot of people are sensitive with the book that this brother wrote, because I just, you know what I'm saying? It's just crazy, you know?
Well, somebody just said Alquan was not offended by the title. Well, I stand corrected.
That's
if you say he was not offended by the title, then I stand corrected, and I do apologize for saying that he was offended by my title. So I just assumed that he was, but I do stand corrected. You know, if he was not offended by my title,
that is.
And I apologize to him for saying that. Okay. Proceed.
Go ahead, sis. But what I was
go ahead. Yeah.
Our people are very sensitive, and see, this sensitivity and emotionalism is what's going to cause us to be destroyed, exterminatedly, if we don't get up out that train of thought. Because with that type of mentality, we cannot be successful with taking control of a state and being successful with that. If we are not under the frame of mind where we will leave our religious beliefs, our other opposing ideologies to the side, to let's focus on our people getting free. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like I used to hear you all the time say, we could argue about religion and all that. We could argue about what tribe we come from. We could argue about whether we African or Native American, or you know what I'm saying, or whatever. When we get done taking control of a state and putting ourselves in a position to be a darn free people. You know what I'm saying? We can worry about all that after that. And then, even then, we can't let that get us off our square when we're not in control of our destiny. You see what I'm saying?
Because I'm gonna tell you, because I'm gonna interject, and I'm gonna let you talk, because I tell you, if we take control of a state, Mississippi, and I feel like that's the state where I can go and not be economically oppressed, and not feel like my life is in danger.
Right.
And I feel like, okay, I can come here and I can truly get the help that I need, or, I can, be in a position where I'm not in slavery or in servitude to the state. If I feel like that, I might up and move to Mississippi.
Who would?
I might leave. Yeah, I might leave Atlanta and move to the state of Mississippi, for real.
So we got to be very, openly aware and understand that all this emotionalism and getting caught up with, my ideology is gonna work better than yours. Your ideology is a pipe dream. We got to get up out that mentality, and let's try it.
Right.
Just like our ancestors attempted on trying. The only thing that helped them back was the racists terrorizing them during the Jim Crow era, which is why they fled north in the first place. Like somebody said, that was the only reason why they wasn't successful. But we have a chance today. We are in a much better position than them on that note to make this happen successfully. If we put our heads together,
right,
and stop all this self-hatred from intervening and into our affairs as far as us liberating ourselves from our oppressor for once and for all. Because if we allow our internal self-hatred for each other to continue to get in the way of our progress toward complete liberation from an oppressor, then I don't even want to say, because, you know, Sister Noble said something similar to that, that we may be forever doomed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I hate to live, you know, and I'll be honest with you. I straight up will be honest with y'all right now, and I'm going to say it on the record, that if it's got to be like that for us, then hopefully whatever's going on with my health condition, that's a underlying condition, well, then may it take me out of here. And because, you know, I don't want to keep living like this.
Yes, sir.
Being among a people, you see what I'm saying, that are considered, let alone second class. We ain't even no longer considered second class. The Hispanics can beat us to that. Shoot, we are considered as fourth class citizens in this country. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, we have to understand that we need to actually know that we are in a situation that, like you and Sister Noble say, we got to do something now.
Yeah.
Do it now. Or like that racist Mississippi governor said back in the 70s, when he, referring to when he was talking about segregation, now and tomorrow. You see what I'm saying? And that's what I say about our situation. It's either now or until tomorrow. Don't wait till tomorrow. It's about now. Let's start making this happen now. And hopefully that Brother Charles M. Blow will respond back to your text.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So we could put our heads collectively together. You see? And other like-minded people like us come together and get on this soul train and get on board, and let's get to freedom. Let's get to the promised land, like Martin Luther King said.
Absolutely.
Because right now we are in a way worse position than we were. Like y'all spoke about earlier today, even though the Civil Rights Act was intended only for us, for our benefit as indigenous Black Americans, but of course they put a clause in that law that said that it applies to all, unquote, minorities. Well, of course, everybody else is benefiting off it more than we are. See? So we got to take our liberation. We can't wait for it to be handed to us no more. You know, and we cannot keep waiting around. I mean, you know, or else, you know, and understand more so now why our younger generations, you know, those that will come behind us, will not respect us. You know what I'm saying? I understand that. Even the younger generations that are presently behind us right now, I understand why they don't respect us. I understand that. You know, and that's why I don't criticize them. Matter of fact, I applaud and I love them more for feeling that way. Maybe that'll make us get up off our asses and do something about our plight as a people. For real. Because I'm actually, man, you know, we need sanctuary, protective havens.
Yeah.
If them immigrants can have it, we can have it. And we've been here longer in this country than they, even before they was born, thinking of this country. You see what I'm saying? That's why can't no immigrant tell me about what it is to be an indigenous Black American. They can't even, you know, identify with our plight, even if some of them are Black. You see what I'm saying? Because they got their own issues, set of issues where they come from. That unfortunately they couldn't work out where they came from.
Right.
To come here to benefit off of our plight. You see what I'm saying? So, I mean, you know, we need to understand and realize that we are up against, like Tupac used to say, we are all against the world. All of us against the world. As 44 plus million indigenous Black Americans. And that's the reality of it, whether we want to accept that or not. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That's just simple. That's, you know, and whether we ever wake up from out of our sleep, you know, to realize that, to do something about it, that's another thing. But we all of us are against the rest of the world because we the only ones backed in the corner.
Mm.
That's how this situation is. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And if people don't wake up and understand that, then hey, these Negroes deserve to be shot down like dogs by these racists in the streets of America. They deserve to be lynched. They deserve to get whatever, you understand, that comes along with racism or with racial terror that's always been plaguing us as a people for hundreds of years in this country. Because we have a much more better opportunity than our ancestors did to get this right.
Mm-hmm.
With that said, I'm going to let y'all close us out.
Yeah, we're closed. We're done here. 3 hours. We're done. I want to thank everybody for joining us this afternoon. Now it's evening. Thank you, Sister Noble, for joining us, and also Brother Omar having technical difficulties. He had to leave. Technical difficulties. I want to thank everybody in the chat room for joining us. The deacons of reality always here with us, and those who was listening. And also, I want to send a shout out again to the brother D. Durrell having us on his platform last night. I really enjoyed myself. We had a pretty good time on this program. You watched the video already, haven't you, Sister Noah? I think she did. Yeah, your mic is mute.
Yes, I have. I watched it.
Yeah. So I had a pretty good time, and he wants to bring a gang of folks next time to, you know, I guess I'll be there by myself. I don't know. I don't know if I have to. Well, anyway, we know what it's about this time. So the Deacons of Reality, this Saturday at 6 p.m. D. Durrell, I put the promotional video on my channel right here on Reality's Temple. I would be there, so you can come join me and help me out, because I'm gonna be
okay.
I'm gonna be out.
And what time is it? Send me a link.
Yeah, I'll send you the link.
Okay.
I'll send you the link, and you know, so we can be there 6 o'clock Saturday. Won't you be
now? I might be doing another live stream. I don't know yet.
Yeah, with the sister. When you on there with Mr. Professor Smalls?
Yeah, I had called into the chat. I had called into the live stream. I meant to say I called in.
Okay.
I called in to the live stream.
Oh, okay. Yes. Yeah, so
but I might be doing something next this coming up Saturday.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'll let you know.
All right. Okay. So on that note, thank you, everybody. Have a nice night.
Yeah. I gotta go get something to eat.
Yeah. And
I'm hungry. I ate all day.
Please, family, I'm gone.
I'm gone too.
All right.
All right.
See y'all later.
See you later. Where's my little bell thing at? Got to do that. Where's my little bell? There you go.